ready to the countdown.
So how's everyone doing? Alright, you ready to fucking go live and that like?
Yeah, we are.
Are you ready?
Well, yeah.
You're the one who does most of the talking.
I'm always fucking ready, man. My fucking tongue does a marathon on a daily basis.
Really?
Well, yeah.
I've never seen that.
Honestly, I tell you what. we are making our audiences now our bitch. They proper lapping up everything we fucking say now.
And now them numbers from the fucking
minute,
last
innit?
one. Jesus Christ.
Not bad, was it?
We're literally unstoppable. Like,
I think your tongue needs to get a bit more flexible though.
oh, definitely. Oh, it can always improve, you know what I mean? Eventually it'll be 3 hours, not 2 hours, because we'll just
Fucking
keep talking
hell.
for 2. Oh shit, we record now.
Oh, fucking hell.
This programme was brought to you by itsadult.com, the official adult business directory for fans, producers, services, webcam, phone chat and more. The original, the best, the UK porn podcast, hosted by Paul Taylor and Scarlett Gray. Exclusive industry chat all about UK porn. Brought to you by Dusk Films. Sponsored by itsadult.com.
Right, hello and welcome to the UK Porn Podcast, sponsored by itsadult.com. So you can find us on itsadult.com/UK Porn Podcast. And obviously, as always, we're here to talk about the adult industry, what's going on and how it's constantly changing. So if you're new here, welcome, thanks for finding us and everything. Welcome to the madhouse and that, you know, because it's like there's nothing out of bounds here what we talk about, is there really?
No, everything's open for discussion.
Oh, definitely, aye. It all depends on what you're comfortable talking about and what you're not. Do you know what I mean?
There's very little that we're not comfortable talking about,
definitely.
to be honest with you. I think we've seen a lot.
There's no fucking shame in this business, man. You know what I mean? So we are glad to have you here. And just a reminder that we're streaming on all major platforms, including Periscope, YouTube, Smashcast, Vaughn Live, YouNow, or you can watch us on @itsadult or @UKPodcast_team. So obviously, you know, you might be listening to us now live, or you might be listening to us on the pre-recorded version that will be on itsadult.com. So I'm Paul Taylor, of course, the CEO of Dusk Films and creator of Nerd Pervert.
I'm Scarlett Gray, I'm a camera operator.
And I'm James Logan, performer extraordinaire.
Tell you what, you're becoming a regular now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So where's fucking Craigie boy at?
I don't know, you know.
Fucking
Nah, he's a
He
miss.
had one shot at it and, you know, you've scared him off.
He was starting to warm up towards the end. It's always the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
He first comes round and he's shy, and then he just starts like coming out of his shell, doesn't he? It's almost as if every time he comes round, it's the first time he's met us all,
Pretty much.
isn't it? It's like he goes through the same motions over and over again.
Bless him.
Fucking weird.
I was like sandwiched between like 3 guys, it was great.
Yeah. Well, you've got to be at nice distances from the microphone so it picks you up and that. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, isn't it? So what's everyone been up to this week then, since the last show and shit? What have you been doing, Scarlett? We'll start with you first.
What?
Just because you mustn't do anything, because I always seem to catch you like off guard.
Yeah, but it's like usual day-to-day stuff. It's not anything like porn related, so it's like...
That's why I've asked you what you're doing. I don't expect you to say, oh, I've been filming someone getting fucked up the arse, and when they pulled the dick out it was gaping. I'm not like, you know what I mean? We don't expect it to be smut 24/7, you know.
I know that.
We are normal people, anyone who's listening. We are normal people as well. We like to fuck more than most people do.
I've been doing Christmas shopping.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking boring now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's a bit early
Hey,
as
it
well
needs
for
to be
that,
done
like.
though. The sooner I get it done, wrapped and sorted, then I don't have to think about it for the next couple of months.
You are quite organised with that type
Yeah,
of shit,
yeah.
like, I must
I
admit.
am.
I mean, it's not even fucking November yet and you've nearly got everyone, haven't you? You were telling me.
Yeah, I think I've only got a few people left to get, and then that's me done.
See, I've
so
heard all this before. I have to pretend to be interested for the sake of
Yeah.
things. I'm even this for the second time.
So I'm very much Christmas Eve. That's when I'll go get all my shopping done.
Do you? Do you leave
Wait,
it?
I leave it to the last minute because you get all the bargains, man.
Yeah, but the
Best
thing
way.
is, what if you can't get something for someone that
Give
you
them
wanted?
cash.
Ah, cash. There
Cash,
you go.
yeah.
Oh, I'd be
I
so.
keep saying every year,
I couldn't, honest.
if you can't get it on fucking Amazon, you're not getting it,
Yeah,
right?
true.
That because everything's Amazon Prime. Oh, actually, how late in the day does Prime work close to Christmas?
Oh,
I
nah,
don't know
close to
that.
Christmas, you gotta get it like a few days early.
So what, like?
Although, I didn't have Amazon Prime now last year, so they might work like up until Christmas Eve. You never
I've only
know.
had one thing straight away from Amazon Prime now,
Right.
and it was what was it? Oh, power line extenders that fucked me all internet connection up all over the house. You know, after I discovered I had to get
Yeah.
it all wired out, and it was that all along.
Oh wait, that was a waste.
I know. Well, I had them for about 6 months, and then all of a sudden everything started fucking up.
Yeah.
So I think it was just because, I mean, come on, I edit in 4K video, right? So pushing that around 600 megabits per second power line adapters through your
Yeah.
power lines is a bit suicidal, like. Don't know what the fuck I was thinking. You know what I mean?
It's about crap. I stopped using them about 5 years ago.
Well,
Power line adapters.
your home connection with your fucking posh internet.
Yeah.
faster than them
love
anyway,
that. Yeah.
isn't
Yeah.
Tell everyone who's listening, how fast is your
My
connection,
internet
James?
is 300 megabytes a second because I am with Virgin, the best broadband.
See, but we in the fucking city.
The best.
We in the city and we don't get that. Honestly, literally, it's nowhere
Nah.
near, you know.
Yeah, we Anna, because you're in the back of Beyond.
Yeah.
Like
We're not near the city.
when I say I'm in the city, I'm like right beside Newcastle. You know, that's
So
where it's
how far to the closest bar in Newcastle are you then?
at. I'd probably walk there in about 15-20 minutes,
Fucking hell.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's like us walking to the club.
and I'm like the same distance away from the Metro Centre as well. So
Question is though,
best of both
Wow.
worlds.
have you got a trendy bar like the Union Bar though?
Oh, do you know what? There's not like the Union Bar in there.
Oh,
Tell you what,
Newcastle.
I knew he'd fucking bite like if I mentioned that every fucking time.
Just because it's got a cheap pint in.
It was fucking alright, man. Honestly.
Do you know what? I'm coming around to that place because
It's, well, for what we talk about, having business meetings and shit,
yeah,
it's safe.
it's safe. It's like that entire afternoon, I was hammered and I didn't spend over a tenner.
Fucking great, isn't it? And what you've got to remember is, right, if you go into a place with loud music
Yeah.
and you go, so I bent her over, right, and I pulled me cup and the music stopped, right, at least that there's none of that. Do you know what I mean? Because that must
Yeah.
be embarrassing, that.
I think you've done that before, haven't you?
Loads of times.
I can believe that, like.
So what have you been up to then, James? We haven't even getting on to you yet, lad.
Now it's just the usual, sex shop life for me.
Day-to-day grind.
Yeah, pretty much.
What have you sold this week then?
What haven't I sold? Dildos, sex dolls, vibrators.
So what do you sell the most of? Is it sex toys more than DVDs?
Nah, it's definitely DVDs more than sex toys. But of the sex toys that I sell, it's pretty much just like your plain classic massive dildo. That seems to be the thing that people want.
Magic
Like-
wands and that.
Nah, not even magic ones. Like, they're more specialist. It's just a bog standard, like 30 quid, massive, like 10-inch dildo or something.
Gordon Bennett.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, like, because I always see, I mean, not that I'm a dildo expert by any means, but like, I always think the magic wands, when you see them, they look like the sex toy version of a fucking Black and Decker, don't they?
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Do you know what I mean?
And,
Basically, you
they're
have to
as
plug them
powerful.
in and
Yeah,
away you go.
Yeah.
I'd
like,
love to have one.
Hell, don't use that in the fucking bath. You fucking kill yourself. You top,
you
wouldn't you?
would.
You know what I mean?
I'd definitely get a magic wand. That'd
Do
be
you
awesome.
have to have training in offering advice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, not all products, but some.
I know the last show you were saying people were asking you advice.
Yeah.
But like, do you have to go, right, welcome to the team.
Yep.
That's a fucking self-ejaculating dildo and shit like that. Like, do we like proper take you around everything?
Well, they don't really take you around everything. They do tell you that you're kind of expected to know what each thing does. But it's more just a case of reading up on them, like reading the boxes, seeing what they're all about, maybe doing a little bit of research on the internet. But there's some mad stuff.
Do you sell them ones where you put the fucking vibrating thing in your missus' knickers and you've got control?
Oh yeah, we've got them.
Do you sell all of them?
Yeah, do you know what? Quite a lot of people do want that because
people think it's like spilt orange juice on the floor of fucking Asda and that, you know. That's when people use it, don't they? When they're like out around the corner near the baby.
Yeah, but you have to think it is slightly horny thinking that you've got this in and then your husband's thinking of you getting off type thing and he's controlling when it comes on and off and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it is quite sexy to think about it, isn't it?
Suppose so.
Are you an independent webcam girl or an independent content producer? Even if you're an established brand looking to make sure you're purchasing the best performance to value for your business, check out salaciouscreations.com and let Dick take care of you. His knowledge of technology is from another galaxy.
Yeah, stop buying shit.
I see you've getting a new camera.
Well, you've been fucking learning about it, so are you just saying that for the listeners who
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you think it's good? Like,
I think it's absolutely fantastic. Like,
can you believe it's that small?
Yeah, like when
the
you
camera,
showed...
I mean.
When you showed us it, I thought it was a toy. Like, but then when you showed us what that camera can actually do, I'm very, very much impressed.
It's like Sony 4K camera from Mattel. It's like proper like. It's like them fucking, you know, the adverts that you see in the morning when you stick the news on, and it's like the kids out of selling all the toys. You expect it to be one of them, don't you?
Pretty much.
But like I say, you know the money's there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, seriously, I'm not looking forward to. It's alright when we shoot the New Girls, but when we get a porn star and we come out with that, and they're gonna be like,
they're gonna be like, what you do?
Fuck. No, but they're like they might not say anything, and they'll be impressed when they see it.
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
Obviously, that's when it's released, and we shoot like far in advance. God knows when they're going to see it. But if we come out with that, they're going to be like, "I heard these were a good company. What the fuck's going on here?" Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, I think you're gonna have to make like a little bit of a show reel using footage from that, just to like kind of play them and be like, "No, look, it's not a toy. It can do this."
Yeah.
And then
like, is that one of those fake security cameras to scare burglars off, and you're just fucking us and use it as an excuse and you're saying you're filming it, but you're not? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, but like, so how do you think it handles? Like, you've had a go.
I mean,
are you confident? Like, I mean, let's just recap a minute, right? So it's changing to me, you, and Craig are going to be all cameramen and performers.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes we'll be like, right, my turn, you hold that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the feel that we're going for.
Yeah.
So you can't really get much wrong with that, can you?
Nah, not at all. Like,
just
it's
switch on and
so
press
small.
record.
It's so light. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, because we've even tried like a couple of things where we've been using the bigger camera.
We've had to use Scarlett's tits to practice how close.
Yeah, pretty much. But
That's
I like
true.
because the bigger.
You're just the
bigger
nearest
ones,
thing there. I do apologise.
Oh, cheers. So my boobs are not good enough then.
Yeah, but
I wasn't complaining.
I know you could
there
at
you
least
go.
like give yourself a nipple on so we could see like depth of field and that though. You know what I mean? I mean, she just sat there useless, didn't she? And we had to imagine all kinds.
Although when you did tell us to come over for some camera training, I did think you were gonna, you know,
Like shag in front of you, just
maybe,
get used to it and that.
you know, because I have to learn the actual shots.
If I'd mastered that, I'd have fucking born to 7 years ago.
Yeah, I'd imagine
You know
so.
what I mean? It's been a long fucking haul and she still hasn't fucking cracked. So it's fucking, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So yes, I am looking forward to seeing a full episode like that.
Yeah, man. It's
You know
gonna
what I mean?
be class.
It's going to be fucking good, like, innit? Hey guys, I'm Paul Taylor, your everyday nerd. I'm here to tell you about my reality show. I like reading comic books, hanging out with mates, and going to the local pub. But I chat to girls and convince them to get naked and do casting videos for a job that doesn't exist. My camera lady Scarlett Grey just goes along with it to get paid. So go to nerdpervert.com and watch all 8 seasons now. Nerdpervert.com, your very own Nerdflix. So coming up on today's show, we've got an interview with new stud David Hughes. Now I say new, he's possibly been around about a year.
I've seen him in and around in places. I'm sure I bumped him one time at a PRC FNM shoot.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, he was like coming out his house.
Yeah, he's really... One thing I loved about chatting to him, as you'll hear later on, is he's really excited, because you always are when you come in.
Yeah.
Like, even you haven't gotten there for fuck's sake yet. You know what I mean? Not the way I have. I'm jaded. Because I've been in the business 17 years next month, but like, you're like, oh, fucking hell, another pussy, I can't wait to fucking get me.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to deal with all the crap, though, does he?
Yeah,
he
true.
just have to come in, get hard, and fuck them.
Not what I might do, just so he can earn his keep.
job,
Exactly.
Just so he can earn his keep, I might go, right, I want to shoot her, and I want to shoot her. Away you go, about to shoot James, and see how far I get to it. I wouldn't be that fucking cruel. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. That's how hard it's getting to be fucking shoots with people. Well, 3rd of November, we still don't know yet, do we?
that is true.
It's just
That's
fucking
true.
indecisiveness of
We'll see.
people. It's just annoys the fuck out of us. And of course, we've got more Dick's tips from Dick Salacious. So obviously,
I love that, but then again, I do love tech.
Well,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
And but he goes that step further. You know, like, I know about technology, and I would say, oh, buy this laptop, it's good. But he'll tell you how to fucking overclock it.
Yeah.
Don't get that RAM, get the cheapest RAM you can get with it, and then spruce it up yourself with this RAM, because it's faster and it's cheap. He's fucking full of useful information. Yeah.
And he's funny with it as well.
Oh, definitely, aye. He's dry as fuck. It's great, man. And Scarlett does that fucking thing and all. We've got that to come to, that fucking thing that she forgets. What is it?
Oh yeah,
The
sex
sex
thing.
That's the one. Sex
Yeah.
fact.
I haven't forgot about it. I've actually been looking at my app to see whether or not which one to choose.
Is that cheating?
No, well, the best thing is, right,
Pre-planning.
most of the time I used to drop it on her back in the olden days.
Half
in them
the time
days.
I forgot.
And she was like, what? I was like, get your phone out, it's time for a sex fact. She's like, oh. But now she knows that we, you know, like, now we stream live, she's up the game now.
Right.
Yeah,
She's
see?
prepared and everything. I mean, you know, just want to drop it in there, you know, like our last show, 9k viewers and that.
I know. Hey,
all right,
that's good going, that man.
I'll tell you what, in 2 years, it took us 2 years to get to 35k.
All right.
And we've done fucking 9k in 2 shows.
It's really good, isn't it?
No, but this is what I'm saying. That's why I took my time with a streaming platform. A lot of people will say, oh, Paul, this isn't a podcast. No, it is.
Yeah.
It's just we flash visuals and advertisements up as well.
True.
We're trying something new. But I've studied the stream platform, so I know how it works. And I've seen others do it and go, they don't understand, or they're not playing with it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, to test it out. So whatever we're doing's working. So say no more. Do you know what I mean?
Crank stuff.
So, but
looking forward to bigger numbers.
Yes.
wait, hopefully it'll keep going up.
I mean, obviously
you're
it's because
part
I'm
of
on
it
it
as
now.
well.
well,
yeah,
I think that might have
exactly.
something to do with it. Like,
I think there's more.
he's got the radio voice, hasn't he?
We keep saying that he's got quite a sexy voice.
Wait, no, it's
No, I
deep
don't
as
believe
fuck.
it.
It's deep as fuck.
See, in my head, I sound like a whiny fuck.
I tell you what, you'd be good at singing Barry White songs in the karaoke. Like
One day I'll bring over the SingStar.
Aye, exactly.
I don't like the sound of my own voice, I must admit.
I don't think anyone.
Well,
does
nobody
really,
does, because
Yeah.
you're hearing yourself back.
I
Exactly,
cringe
yeah.
at myself when I hear it and I'm thinking, oh my good God.
See, I'm not used to it because I've spent that long editing myself over the years.
Aye, that must be mad.
No, but it makes you more comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we all wish our dick was bigger. That's never going to go away. Or maybe it's just
That
me.
is true, like.
But like, you get used to your own mannerisms and the way you sound, and it just literally just does go over your head when you're that used to just looking over yourself. I mean, not out of choice. It's just I'm the person who does it all, so I've got no choice, have I really? You know what I mean? So, what's been going down in the adult industry, right? Well, the fucking Guardian of all fucking papers, right? So you have to take this with a pinch of salt, right? So, blame the Guardian, don't, like, write in and say, you know, oh, you're scaremongering and stuff. This is what the Guardian said, right? So, age verification, we all know it's coming in, where you have to age verify to, you know, prove you're 18 to access commercial porn, right? It was meant to come in fucking last year sometime, and it got delayed till the back end. No, it was meant to come in April.
Yeah.
Got delayed till the end of this year, and now it's meant to be the first quarter of next year. Right now, the BBFC's been brought in to sort of oversee it. But the Guardian are reporting that the only sites that have to age verify is commercial porn sites. So they're basically saying things like Twitter and Reddit and Tumblr that do host pornographic imagery isn't going to get caught in the age verification block, right? I kind of guess Twitter wouldn't, because it is a fucking brain ground of porn. I mean, I don't think I've got one fucking clean thing on my timeline on Twitter.
Yeah, no.
And it's great for advertising. I think the industry would take to that badly if that did fall under the age verification block. I reckon everyone would be like, well, how the fuck do we advertise now? So I think that would really, it would be a downer for I mean, people who's got like a lot of followers, you're going to lose that advertising thing. So that's a good thing. But I'm worried about, because it doesn't clarify what it means, but it just basically says commercial porn will fall under the age verification law. If you don't have age verification, you'll be blocked at the ISP level, right? But, so are you trying to say that after all of that, the porn hubs and the ex-hamsters and all that is still going to be able to show you free clips? Because if that's the case, the government are not doing one fucking thing to protect children like they say.
Not at all. Because that's the easiest way for children to get
you
on.
type in fucking nerd pervert, the official site's the third one down.
Jesus
the top one's
Christ.
fucking free shit. So this is what I'm saying. Oh shit, I've just told everyone out to find us for nothing. Right, but well, it's no fucking secret, is it?
Yeah.
But that's my point. So they're not seeing nerd pervert on my site because they have to fucking be able to go into the members area. I mean, fair enough, there's hardcore trailers on the tour.
Yeah.
So if you can still go to Pornhub, and the thing is, MindGeek, who own Pornhub, are bringing out Age ID, which is their own age verification system. So they're not going to use their own age verification system to block the free stuff, because there's a Pornhub Premium which you can pay for. Like, we could essentially sign up as a site partner with Pornhub, put all of our nerd pervert back catalogue in their premium site, and when someone joins, if they access it, we get paid. It's another revenue stream. I've been looking into it. I'm still, if you can't beat them, join them. It might be worth it. I don't know.
Undecided.
I'm undecided at the minute. But the point is, that means their own age verification system isn't going to block the free porn, which means even their age verification system, which they're bringing in to try and age verify people, so you have to prove you're 18 before you can access content. It's like, what the fuck's going on? I'm hoping this is a bad rumour, because The Guardian is famous for spouting bollocks.
Right.
And I've never read it anywhere else. But I'll tell you what, that, and I'm going to sound like fucking Jerry Barnett here, right? This will be the end of porn. The only way you'll be able to continue doing it, if this is true, is you'll have to sign up with Pornhub, because they've got a monopoly over the industry anyway.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you'll make money. Because Nerd Pervert would die, all the other sites would die, because if age verification isn't taking away the piracy parts, which is the free stuff, we're fucked. Because that means it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And I think a lot of people were looking forward to age verification, because we're not opposed to minors not accessing porn. Of course we don't want them to. But I think people were thinking, oh great, that means the porn sites, the porn tube sites, are going to be blocked by age verification, which means people aren't going to be able to see our stuff for free, which means increase in sales could happen. So there was sort of light at the end of the tunnel, but if they're not going to block that shit...
Yeah, like that. Does sound mental.
And so what's the BBFC being brought in for then? Because they're not protecting children.
Yeah, exactly.
They're protecting it from commercial porn, but that's already behind the payment system anyway. So that's really like... I was talking to somebody else about it on the phone the other day, and I was like... We were like spelling the end of porn. Like commercial porn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have said that the future is the way Pornhub and all these tube sites like do it, which is basically give you shit away for free. And if you're getting enough traffic to your site, you can sell banner spaces and adverts and shit like that. Because Pornhub make money out of traffic and advert and AdSense and stuff. And that's just like, who's going to be the first mainstream company, like say like us for example, to dare try and just make everything free to hope that the traffic's going to pay for it? Jesus Christ, I wouldn't dare.
I know.
That's fucking scary.
Scary,
It's kind of mad.
So I obviously have no idea what's going on, but MindGeek expecting Age ID, their age verification system, to have 20 to 25 million users sign up. So that's confident that.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the public only found out about this maybe 6 or 7 months ago when the BBC reported about it. Like, our industry finds out straight away, but the public don't. And then one day they'll just go, and they'll have the trousers down, and the fucking Kleenex out, and the fucking hand lotion, and they'll go, where's my porn at? And that's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
But according to The Guardian, again, you know, we've got no proof that this is true yet because they've just written about it. But just imagine if that was true.
I know.
Fucking dark
Scary
days,
stuff,
innit?
man.
You know what I mean? I think that's fucking terrible, me. Like, in other news, iFriends is closed down. Now, if you don't know who that is, that was technically, before Adult Work and all the other webcam platforms, that was one of the first ever cam platforms to introduce adult as well. Yeah. So it gradually evolved into that. It was launched on Valentine's Day in 1998. And as I say,
Christ, that has been going for a long time, hasn't it?
Yep, aye, and it's an early adopter of obviously the adult cam technology, tracking through millions of users, offering a safe and reliable community for its models. And they just said while the site's been taken offline, they want to stress that the continuation of payments and releases to both the people who use the camming systems is going to go ahead. So like your earnings haven't been frozen, and they're gradually going to wind down. But obviously it was the gold standard for 20 years. It had more than 100,000 hosts, 10,000 marketing partners, and millions of users paired up with the site. So I mean, that's like the end of an era, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, if it wasn't
much
for that, there might not have been the sites that we know of today.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. It's interesting how it sounded like. I mean, I don't really know much about it, I'll be honest. It sounded like it was like a Skype type thing.
Okay.
Or like a FaceTime thing that adopted adult gradually over time. So you never knew whether you were going to get like just, I don't know, like someone talking normally and thinking she was fit, and then you found out, ooh, if I slip some fucking credit, she'll take it top off. No. And I'll get to see your tits. So you can see that how people are like, fucking hell, this might take off this. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And I mean, it has, hasn't it?
It's just the way that they've tweaked Facebook and Twitter and stuff.
Well, it's like Snapchat.
Like
Snapchat, right? See, the thing is, right, the American government, right, any Americans listening, you know, I feel sorry for you, but Trump is coming at the sex industry from a different angle than our government is. So our government's saying we want to protect children, and Trump's basically going, no, we want to make sure that every sex worker, he doesn't really say porn performer, he says sex worker, so I'm assuming he means escorts, is doing it of their own free will and hasn't been sex trafficked into the country or hasn't been forced into it by a pimp, right? And that's very noble in that, but like, I don't get where he's coming from, because like, you're never going to know, are you? Like, a pimp's not going to go, oh, you go as Trump.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't want to suck cock last night, but I told her that she owed us fucking 500 quid, so she had to, you know, like, no one's ever going to find out unless it's like an undercover sting operation or something. So it's a bit weird how he's doing that. Now, the problem is, a lot of the mainstream services like Skype and OneDrive with Microsoft and Google Drive and all the main things, like WeTransfer and fucking Dropbox and stuff, we as an adult industry have adopted mainstream cloud storage space to share videos, right? Now, obviously, there's no rule to say what video file type that has to be or what the content has to be, but we're sharing it. So we are technically abusing mainstream services. And like, going back to the Snapchat thing, you know, that's for fucking putting doggies on you and fucking, you know, messing about with filters. Right. But models are selling it as a premium thing. Where you can do like little mini stories of getting your tits out, and they're selling, you know, £50 for life, and you can, you know, get so many text messages a week or a month off them and stuff. And it's like, that's the adult industry adopting a mainstream platform that wasn't built for that. And I think there's going to be a resurgence against that and all. I think like eventually they'll stop people from using it that way, which is a shame. I mean, people will jump and find something else. Exactly. They always do. But
the adult industry's always good at doing that.
That's the thing, though. You cut off one head and 7 go back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like every time we think we face an Armageddon, we survive.
You
absolutely. Know why? Because everybody needs a fucking wank.
Exactly.
And it's the oldest trick in the book, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
All just profession, I suppose.
Well, fucking Wild West used to go in for a fucking whiskey and a shot off upstairs.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fucking, you know, the sex industries will never be killed off. And all the politicians who, like, try to do it in whatever country is usually fucking using a prostitute anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Secretly.
Fucking double standards, isn't it? You know what I mean? So I must admit, like, if anyone, like, you know, is selling their own clips, ManyVids seems to be the main one now.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know where that's come from, because has that been going 3 years, maybe? But,
Don't know.
you know, I mean, I know that the trials and tribulations of trying to launch a site like that with It's Adult.
Yeah.
And it's very, very fucking slow going. And getting people to use it has been hard. Plus, you know, me, Terry, Ben and Andy at Webstream, doing this outside of our main job, and obviously that comes first. So if we had more time to dedicate to it, it would be nice. But we just do it like sort of as and when. So yes, so for ManyVids to rise supreme over, like, I mean, I remember when, I don't want to go too much into it, but when AppFod came and it was the first government thing to try and get you to sign up to protect your content from minors, right? They've had a few goes. And then there was a big surge in, obviously, content producers shutting the sites down and putting clips on adult work. And a lot of people were making a full-time living just off that. So what started off as a webcam platform and also a platform where you could book escorts turned into, models used to put little 1 minute clips on so you could see what they were like sucking dick before you booked them. I mean, that's a hell of an idea.
Oh, yeah.
But then, you know, the producers started using it and putting what was called rentals, which was like full scenes, and then selling clips as well. And that's how we survived through the whole AppFod thing. But now, adult work is still supreme on the webcamming, but not necessarily compared to ManyVids, at least, not selling video clips and stuff.
Yeah.
Because ManyVids seems to be, I mean, it's no secret, I'm not slagging adult work off. It's complicated as fuck to use.
Yeah.
And the girls put up with it because they do make money on it.
Right.
And that's the only reason why they get away with it. Now, obviously, if Mark Hassel's listening, you know, he's been brought on as their new PR agent or whatever. And he's bringing some fresh ideas to the table. Yeah. And I think it's duly needed. You know, he's more in touch with things like that because he's younger. He knows the adult industry a lot more because he's worked with Paul Raymond over the years, so he has worked in the modern day adult industry. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to it.
I mean, when I was looking to get into the adult industry, like, I went on adult work because I thought, I'll get myself a profile set up and stuff. But then when I did, like, kind of look at the layout and stuff of it, I was like, oh, this looks a bit mad.
Well, the thing is, it looks like it's been built once.
Yeah.
Off some foreign coders.
Right, no.
Who have never updated it since. I mean, you know, people might disagree with us here, but, and I've got no proof of this is just a good feeling. Every time it goes down and they say we're getting DOS attacks, I think it's just a fucking pipe broke. I don't think it is anyone sending fucking pipes of traffic down to overload the servers. I just think it's fucking broke. And all the money that they fucking got, they should just build a new site.
Well,
gradually do it, you know, like switch over to the new one when it's done. Yeah. So there'll be no loss in service, and I just don't understand it. A lot of people might not want to hear that, but that's just the way I feel.
People are afraid of change, though, aren't they? So if they did change it and
I think the girls would welcome it if it was easier.
Yeah, that's true.
If you didn't get an email from a fucking robot that said, your clip has been taken down because of this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason, or this reason, and you go, well, it's none of them, and it'll say a warning if you repeatedly put up the same clip. Your account could be suspended permanently, and you're like, well, I don't know if to put it back on now because I haven't fallen foul of any of those reasons. And that's one of the things that we decided to do with It's Adult. Not that it compares to adult work, of course it doesn't, but we wanted it to be a manual human who you talk to, not like a fucking robot, you know what I mean? Obviously that must save a lot of time doing it that way.
Yeah. You don't need someone directed just at answering them.
Yeah, but it's just, I think it's annoying people. Because, like, again, they don't feel like they can talk to anybody. Which is obviously a shame, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's why ManyVids has just popped up and tapped them on the shoulder and went, alright?
Yeah.
Like, and no one saw it coming. I mean, Clips for Sale, that's like a DIY marketing site. It's still, it looks outdated now, but you still can change your own banner and make your profile, you know, as different as you can possibly make it, where adult work's terrible.
Yeah, what?
Because, like, everybody's profile looks the same.
Yeah, I would do like.
You know what I mean? So I think it's. I mean, you think I know all the answers, won't you? But I'm just seeing as an observer what I think these sites are doing wrong. And we've had 3 revisions of It's Adult, and obviously we're not doing nowhere near the numbers that they're doing. But at least we're trying. And if we can do it with, like, you know, nothing but our free time to try and launch this thing, why can't the people who are already making the money just give people what they want? It's just listening to your customer fan base, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right, so enough of all the deep, meaningful bollocks. I think we need some tech advice from fucking Dick Salacious, do you?
Yeah, I do like.
So I'll tell you what, let's see what he's got for us this week.
Welcome to Dick's Tips from salaciouscreations.com. I was going to say proudly sponsored by Selena Secret, but he really does know his shit. You'll see.
It's time for Dick's Tips again with Dick Salacious. How you doing, Dick? All right?
Well, not too bad. Like, I tried shaving my balls the other day and I still got a bit of a rash. You got any suggestions on how I can get rid of it?
Well, not how to get rid of it, but what I do to stop getting the rash, because I always shave my balls because of the line of work I'm in. I usually do them every day in the shower, even when there's no stubble there, and it gets your skin used to it.
Dude, that just conjures an image like Clint Eastwood's face on your ball sack going diddle-loo.
The only
fucking rustic.
the only thing is, don't do your ass, because that gets fucking itchy, that shit.
Oh, I bet that fucking does. Fucking hell.
But
you know, it saves you on toilet paper at the end of the day.
Well, at the end of it, I tell you what, it makes your farts louder because it ripples, because it's just fucking skin. I'm pretty sure that your ass hair muffles the sound a little bit. So, yeah.
Oh, dude, fucking, I'll never shave my balls again. I fucking tell you, fucking hell. Hats off to you, mate, because literally, your ball sack must be fucking made of leather.
Oh, honestly, it looks like leather now, but that's probably because I'm nearly 40, so, you know.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones in The fucking Fugitive when he smiles.
Right, so we're here again for more, obviously, technology tips from you, Dick. Now, the last episode we covered, like, obviously a startup budget PC, and that you don't have to spend a fortune and you shouldn't be going for the cheap laptops. And let's just say people have started listening to your advice and someone's actually purchased a PC. In terms of speed, because everyone keeps talking about SSDs for operating systems and stuff, but if people are using the software that you suggested, like OpenShot and stuff, that still over time is going to use up a lot of hard drive space, especially when you go into content creation. So what tips have you got in terms of storage space for people who might be new to it?
Yeah, so obviously on Twitter the other day, there was a really shit-hot graphics designer, and everybody should check him out, that his hard drive failed, and he's had to pay a fortune now to get his data recovery done. Now, I believe that one of the best things that girls can do is buy a good quality, not the shit stuff that you see, external hard drive, and buy a caddy for it, you see. So what I mean by a caddy is just an enclosure where you can plug a hard drive in.
Oh, so you mean don't buy an external hard drive, buy an internal one and put it in a caddy?
Well, one of the biggest kept secrets in the industry, okay, is those external hard drives are basically drives that didn't meet the quality control of a proper hard drive when you buy the proper hard drive. Now, if you compare the two prices together, you'll see that a hard drive that you actually have to plug into a PC is actually a lot cheaper than what it is an external hard drive. They found a way of selling you a lesser quality product for a lot more than what you would typically pay because you've got the enclosure on it. Okay. Now, the only real difference between an external hard drive and an internal hard drive is a tiny little chip that costs £2.50. Okay. So I would love to have got my hands on that person's hard drive to have a look at it myself, because 9 times out of 10, with the amount of wear and tear that we place on these drives, it's just blown that little chipboard. If he had opened up the case, he could have taken the chip off and plugged it directly into his PC to see if that worked. Then he could have recovered all his drive data, and it would have only cost him £5 for a new enclosure. Now, because obviously the advent of HD, we're not working in standard definition anymore. And if you are, buy yourself a fucking camera. But in seriousness, it is a case of now we're working in 1080p. I haven't got the 4K yet, like you. but I'm filming in 60 frames a second, so I'm doing around about 500 megabyte per 1 minute footage. So as you can imagine, my file sizes are astronomical, as are your file sizes.
Well,
They're not quite as bad as
mine's
yours.
about 3 gig for 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And my file sizes aren't quite there at yours, but my file sizes are very fucking meaty. And as you can imagine, at that sort of frame rate, the footage is very, very smooth, but it's a nightmare dealing with the files at that sort of size. So at the moment, what I tend to do is I tend to keep an eye on the markets in Amazon on what the prices are. Now, what I tend to find to be the best value tends to be Seagate hard drives. Now, I can buy a 4 terabyte Seagate hard drive for about £75. That's 4,000 gigabyte, just to put that into a bit more perspective, because I know a lot of people are still using 250 gig hard drives, that type of thing. So you can get a 4,000 gig hard drive for just £73. Okay. Now, the cheapest one you could get, this an external drive, is around about £100. So you can get a good £20 off that drive. But the important bit is with these hard drives is they have a cache chip on them. Now, you can buy a good hard drive for cheaper than that, for 4 terabyte, but they won't have a cache chip on. Now, the difference that we touched upon before in the previous episode was we got SSDs for our operating systems. That gives us a 10-second boot up time, and all our programs then go on a different drive. So to put this into perspective, is those cache chips on that £75 drive actually make those drives not quite as fast, but a hell of a lot faster than what the traditional drives are. They write at around about 180 megabyte a second in the right conditions, whereas a traditional hard drive would only do about 9 megabytes in the right conditions. So there's a huge performance gain to be got from that. And at 180 megabytes a second on USB, if your computer can support that, would allow you to edit, render to, all from that one drive. And one of the best ways of preventing any embarrassment if you do have to go to PC World is none of your porn's on your drive. It's all on your external drive, and nobody would know that you were a porn performer. Nobody could get hold of your pictures and possibly leak them, because that has happened. Because everybody's got naked pictures of themselves these days for some reason.
But that's why an adult-incy friendly technology tips guy like you could handle all that should they need that service, because you're in the adult-incy, so you don't need to. People don't need to worry about the data being compromised. But yeah. But obviously, what you've just said is true. If they're going to take it to the local computer shop, it's best that the data is off it.
Yes, definitely. I'd always recommend working from that external hard drive, because you're not going to clog up your laptop. You're not going to fill the hard drives on it, and it'll keep your PC in good health.
Well, the rule of thumb is for most things, never mind video editing, is to keep your C drive just for your programs and running the machine, and everything else that's power intrusive like video editing kept on a separate drive, which would be your external hard drive that you've just advised to get.
Yes. On the other flip side of it, for example, the girl in Australia whose PC, even though I'm sat here in sunny, well, I say sunny Wales, right? We say that because it pissed down all the fucking time. We've had flash floods, power cuts, every bastard thing lately. But yeah, so the girl in Australia, she's bought herself a Synology box. I know you got Synology as well. Just to make perfectly clear, I can't afford a Synology box. They cost a little bit too fucking much.
They are a little bit overkill, but it's just ease of use, isn't it? I mean, when I got them, I knew nothing about that type of thing, and my knowledge has grown, certainly with your help, and even a little bit before I met you, and used your service that you offer. But obviously, it's ease of use, and sometimes ease of use seems to like really, really cost you.
Yeah, exactly. And easy use does cost you. For example, in our last episode, I was talking about what PC to buy. Now, I just use one of them as my file server, and I've got about 24 terabyte of storage in there. So I got 24,000 gig of data, so obviously that's enough for me for now. But I'll soon run out. But that's more for my level of using. But obviously, I can set those sort of things up. I can put Linux on there. You can map it through to your Windows computer, and I can work off those then, and it transmits a whole gigabyte a second. It's a high quality product, but obviously it's not costing me the Synology prices, because you only need a PC that you can pick up for as little as £25 on eBay. And that's a bargain, if I'm honest.
So really, all you're using the computer for is a shell to access the drives over a network.
Yeah. So basically, I use it for my film server. Don't get me wrong. I like a lot of how do I put it? I like a lot of multi-use out of mine, which I think you've benefited from the experience that I got from that.
Yeah, just a bit.
There's nothing like having your own private movie server. Obviously, you can stream to all your mobiles, your tablets, your smart TVs, that type of thing.
And every time your hard drive light goes fucking mental, it's like the fucking nerd perverts downloading the film off my server.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the other thing: I can watch my films on my server outside of my house. I can be away on a business trip, and literally, I can carry on watching my TV series where I left off. As simple as that. You know, it is very handy. And that is a PC that I got for £90 on eBay.
And I paid £950 for my server.
And yeah, I didn't even spend £100 on that. Obviously, I have now where I've put better hard drives in there because obviously I've got the SSD boot up drive. I got my websites on my server. I've got loads of stuff going on that server, and it handles it like a walk in the park. But that's the other flip side of it. You see, is again, if you're willing to put your hand in your pocket, it come up with £25. You can buy a lower spec one of those office PCs that we were talking about in the previous episode. Basically, then you could actually have network attached storage in your house and work from that.
Let's make this clear, though, right? That we keep saying to people, invest in yourself, right? Now, you're not spending the money on anybody but yourself. You're giving yourself the tools to possibly succeed better than what you would originally. Now, let's mention no names, but you have offered advice to people before. Now, the thing is, if you haven't got the money, if you haven't even got £100 to buy a shell of a computer to make into a server, and you haven't got the money. But most of the time people have, they just choose to spend it on something else. And as an example, you helped a so-called model out, right? And another person who was getting into video editing, and they ended up getting a tattoo instead of getting the laptop that you suggested. Because, again, I know in the last episode you said, you know, form factor PCs or towers are better than laptops, but that's what they wanted to go with. So you helped them get the best possible one, and they decided to spend it on something else, which meant they had the money all the time, which meant they mustn't have deep down believed in themselves enough to invest in the equipment, because why would you not?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest problem in business these days is although there's all this money available in porn, right, what you really need to ask yourself, okay, is somebody who's aspiring in this industry, be it a webcam girl or a porn performer, because there is no porn stars anymore, apart from you lucky bastard. The amount of tits you must have seen. Shit.
Yeah, it's all one big blur of just fucking nipples. I can't remember who belongs to who.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? They don't realise the work that goes into making those nipples look like that with the colour grading after.
Oh, I tell you what, everybody's fucking areolas look fucking perfecto when I'm finished.
Yeah. You try tracking a fucking nipple when they're bouncing up and down, I tell you. Fuck it up. But no, in the seriousness of the point is, it's also one of the cheapest industries you can get into because you are self-employed, you are a contractor working for other companies, okay? And there's not an industry in the world where you can get away with such a cheap buy-in, which is why we're trying to get across to you that, yes, you might be skinned, you are going to have a business investment because you couldn't get a McDonald's franchise for this sort of money. You couldn't buy a franchise in a carpet fitting firm. You know, you can't buy a franchise to get a boost in the business like you can in the porn industry. It's still a very accessible industry. However, people aren't putting any sort of investment into it. They're using castaways. They're using shit, basically. And as we touched upon before, the quality compared to what we can produce compared to that. I mean, I can't produce what you produce. I haven't got the fucking patience for that. Hands up. But the quality compared to what I'm doing versus, say, some of the girls is absolutely, you know, it's night and day. Whereas, you know, it's like the sun blowing up when it comes to your end, especially if you're spending 3 days editing a scene.
Yeah, but the point is I wouldn't be able to do that whether I've got the ability to or not if I didn't have the right equipment. It's not all down to, you know, my attention to detail and the fact that it has to be perfect before I'll actually release it to the fans. It's a simple fact my computer can do it.
It's not perfectionism, mate. It's pride.
Well, maybe it is. I've always followed my gut, and in business, I seem to only be successful if it feels right. If something if I felt like I've held back on something or something's not the best of my ability, regardless of what other people think of it, some people might hate it. You know, you can't please everybody. That's just, it comes down to, do I think this is good? Even if it doesn't sell, the point is I put it out there because I thought it was good.
Yeah.
And if you go with your gut, you know, you usually can't be very far wrong.
Well, yeah, and that's part of the problem, you see, because, I mean, you can just, obviously, you can do your shoot, you can send all your files over to your server, and you can work from your server. Okay? And it's exactly the same concept, everybody. Using an external hard drive on a USB port is what we've been talking about now. It's just, it's a downscaled version of it.
Well, can I just say one thing, though? If they don't go to the cheap PC to make a server and hire someone like you to obviously set that up with a Linux operating system so they can manage it over a network, if they were to go for an internal hard drive, buy an enclosure, and then obviously USB 3 plug it into your computer and work off that, what do we then do about backup if they don't take the next step and get the cheap version of a server that you can set them up? Because obviously, if they add into that, then where's the backup of that?
Yeah, they're going to have to keep buying more and more hard drives as they keep.
So really, it is, even though it might sound like overkill in the early stages, it's cheaper to get a server now, what's rated and what is recoverable, rather than an external hard drive. But bare minimum external hard drive. But you just have to realise the more you fill it up, you need another one to manually make a copy of it all the time.
Yeah, and the other thing that people don't realise is we all like to think our data's forever, don't we? We take that photo, we upload it to Facebook, and we believe that photo is going to be there forever. Okay, and already we're starting to see digital degradation in our, like, I mean, I've been on Facebook now for about 12 years. So, you know, we were able to do it where you could throw poo at people and wave and nudge and poke and all that sort of shit, like fucking the way we used to live, eh? But I'm starting to see some of my videos won't play from back then now because technology's moved on and, you know, the file formats change and your data's not going to be forever. And people, like, you go to content shares and they bring a USB pen stick with them. If you don't plug that USB pen stick in, you know, every couple of months, you can get digital degradation on that and you can lose all your data.
I'll tell you what, I know a lot of people who's based their whole career on a USB pen, and when it's fucking died, they look like they're going to get the razor blades out. Because if I lost 17 years of work because I was that careless, you'd never recover from it. How would you ever find the strength to carry on and try and redo that for another 17 years?
The thing is, once it's gone, unless you know somebody with a £10,000 posting machine, and I'm sorry if anybody wanted me to fix that, I can't afford that sort of shit, like, you know. In which case, you got to go to a forensic data recovery people, and the prices ain't fucking cheap.
And then they've got you by the Jack and Danny's, and they also say that you still have to pay if they can't recover it.
Yes, exactly. It's like submitting a DVD to the BBFC, mate. It's it might be £1,000 a minute, but if it fails, you lose that £1,000 a minute. Like, you know, it's not just like.
And you've got to make the cuts and resubmit it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that is the same sort of thing with data. So if people are basing their entire business models on a USB pen stick, please buy yourself a decent, proper hard drive that is reliable, and use that to run your business on, not a fucking pen drive. Because the amount of people who ask me to recover data from their pen drives and I can't because it hasn't been plugged in for a year, this is it. I just can't imagine how they must feel. And trust me, I might be a bit of a prick in real life, but, you know, I don't like giving people fucking news like that. Like, sorry, your business is gone because you were too fucking stupid to buy a fucking hard drive.
But can we just say again that if any of this is going over people's heads, you know, Dick's information's up on the screen now, so even if you do want to take that step of buying a hard drive, you can get in touch with Dick and he'll tell you which one to get. He'll send you a link, you know, he'll even set it up for you, or if you want him to custom build you a server now, you don't even have to know how to use it. He can set it up and build it, and then you can then, you know, through the wonders of the internet and TeamViewer, show them how to do basic, this is how you access your work, this is where you save it to. It's pretty simple. It just sounds complicated when we're talking about it in a conversation like this.
Well, one of the things I always do, just to touch upon that sort of thing, is I actually talk to the people. So my laptop's behaving a bit weird at the moment. So I'll log in, but I'll make sure I have to have a conversation with them on WhatsApp to explain A, what I'm doing, and B, so they can explain what the laptop's actually doing, because it's a sort of a feel thing. We're at the stage now where your technology, you know, if your computer's a bit fucked up for the day or something's going on with it it's not right, because you feel that. And I don't get that sort of instance just by using your computer, because I've never used it before. So you have the feel. It's a bit like being a mechanic. Well, what do you feel might be wrong with it is a legitimate question. So every time I bring, say, my browser up, it's running a bit slow. Now, first thing I'm going to do is load up the browser. There could be 700-800 tabs open on the fucker. You know, that's why it's fucking behaving a bit slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It's about that sort of what do you feel is wrong with it? Then I can work out what is actually wrong with it from what you're advising me, because I can work it out from there. But you'd be amazed how, even if you think that I'm only a beginner, I'm only webcamming and recording a couple of clips here and there, how useful a server would actually be for you. Now, all a server actually is just a computer that you never turn off. Mine's in my downstairs toilet, hidden away up on a shelf. Yours is under your telly, that one, isn't it?
No, well, my little form factor PC, but my servers are actually in the demon cupboard. The demon cupboard, Rich.
We call it the demon cupboard because A, the door's not the right fucking size and the door opens the wrong fucking way. Yeah, remember that video we made?
Yeah. Rich sent us a video on WhatsApp where he'd re-edited a video of me showing where my shelves were going to go when I was constructing my home network and adding to what I'd previously used. And then he'd put like all this like fiery pits of hell and a fucking demon at the end with fucking horns and shit.
I fucking didn't sleep all fucking night when I stayed at your house, mate. Fucking hell. The cupboard door opened. I still got the fucking ring. I gotta admit though, it's because of the ring I haven't got a 3D telly. Like, it's like, no thanks.
Yeah, fuck that.
But no, I hope this has been helpful to people, because it is very much a case of it protects yourself. It allows you to remain anonymous to the public, because the last thing you want is somebody at PC World discovering your content, taking a copy of your content and uploading your content, because that did happen.
Oh, and having a free wank, because you girls hate that if they don't fucking pay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the amount of times, right, the girls think I'm after a free fucking wank, and it's like, I'm not being fucking funny, love, right? I can see your fucking ribs, innit? Go eat a fucking sandwich.
You know that.
I'll tell you what, I'll pay you £5 to eat a fucking sandwich just to put a bit of fucking weight on, isn't it? Fucking hell.
That's what made me laugh about the first Avenger in Captain America, when he went in for the super soldier serum and he was on the bed and he was like skinny as fuck, and then someone walked down and went, "Geez, someone get this kid a sandwich."
Yeah, it is, mate. It's like, I like, even the curvy girls, like, oh no, I don't want to do this, or I don't feel comfortable with you having access to that, right? Well, go to your local fucking repair shop, innit? And it's the thing, if they find out who you are, that's your fucking problem, not mine. I offer confidential services. It's down to you to fucking take them or not. It's as simple as that.
Right, well, thanks very much for that, Rich, and I'm sure we'll have more hot tips from Salacious Creations the next time we speak. So until then, I'll catch you later.
Yeah, goodbye, everybody.
See, I like the way he's continuing that on
from
last week. Because he came up with this genius idea of saying, like, if people were going to listen back to try and find, oh, I remember him talking about this, where's that, we can just have a certain, group of information and then build on from it each week, so it's like modules, do you know what I mean, which is easy to follow.
Makes sense, like.
So that's a good idea, that. So I never thought of that, so Dick, thanks for the tip, because that was definitely a good idea. Oh, and there's my dog getting in on the podcast again, making background noises and that with his little clippity cloppity feet. I don't know. Right, I think we need to go into our interview with David Hughes to see what this new guy's all about and how he started and what his goals are for the future and that. So let's have a chat with him, eh? So, David Hughes, thank you very much for talking to the UK Porn Podcast.
My pleasure.
Now, obviously, I always like to start off with obviously what drew you to porn, and how did you start out in the business? Because obviously, I know you're relatively new by obviously industry standards and stuff. And I was just wondering, what made you think, oh, porn, I'm going to give this a go?
Yeah, this is an interesting thing. I think I'm not too far from the truth if I say every single man has thought about it at least once in their life.
Yep.
I'm no exception. So I think about this. I thought about this many different times, especially in my university years, early 20s. But it never became a real goal up until last year, really. When I had a series of meets with wonderful girls, escort girls, and it's just completely out of the blue. Some of them, mention, you could work in porn, and hey, you never know whether they were, just wanted to be kind or they were serious, but it stuck in my mind, and okay, let's think about this, and. This is completely black for me. So how to get into porn as a male? This is something I had no idea about at all. So 1 year ago, I was completely clueless, and well, this is a job, if I can put it this way, that you can't just pick up a leaflet from the job center and okay, that's what you do.
No, definitely not.
And I just look up the internet, but so many things out there. You try to filter out what is right, what is wrong, but it's difficult. So I ended up looking up for girls who allow filming, escort girls.
Yeah.
And I found one especially who I signed up to her OnlyFans, and I saw that she's got professional videos with another very famous UK porn star, with the biggest companies, really, including Brazzers and all the big ones.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my God, so what if I could have a shoot with her, because she allowed filming? And I built up my courage over 2 months to message her, and she came back with a lovely message. She's an absolute gorgeous girl with an amazing body, and I didn't even think that she could reply me.
I think I know who you're on about.
Okay. There are a few with this kind of body anyway. But yeah, so she came back with a really, really nice reply, and I'm okay, so we can do that. We met. We completely forgot about the filming in the first place. So I messaged her back again. It was all lovely, and we had a fantastic time, really. And so can we do the filming? I mean, a proper filming. I saw you have shots with professional shots with other performers. So yeah, she said, okay, let's do it. I know someone from the industry, a professional photographer, and I can talk to him. He's a nice guy, blah blah, and we can do that. Okay, I can't chicken out from this point now, and we set this up. And I was really curious, how is it different? Just having a meet with a girl, rather than for a full set with everything else. And we set this up, met with them. The whole experience is brand new. Setting up the lights, instructions, the preparation, everything is whole different, and I loved it from the beginning. So it was love at first sight.
One thing that must have really stood out though on your behalf, which is a credit to you in such an early, stage in your career where your first ever shoot was, your email must have been quite thorough and quite detailed for an established performer to even give you a chance, because new guys do get a lot of flack by just sending emails to models saying, hi, can I do a shoot with you? Well, that's not professional, and she must get hundreds of them, because all models do. So the fact that you must have been very considerate and articulate about your thoughts of possibly wanting to do it obviously got through to her for that to actually turn into a shoot, you see. So you've already from the word go started off on the right foot, where many don't.
Yes, as I said, this was a second meet, and the first one is I didn't really consider a proper shoot. It was just like just to film myself with her. It's like kind of personal, but it was the second time, and gladly we had quite quite good time. So we had a great chemistry, and for the second time when I messaged her about being professionally with an external cameraman, it's not like our set up with a tripod or something, and she was willing to do that. Whether it was on my behalf or it's just her genuine kindness, I don't know really, but that's how it happened.
So was there any point, when this started to get real, where you were like, oh shit, I'm going to shoot like a real porn film, it's going to have lights and a camera and it's not going to be self-shot? At that point, did you 100% know that you could do it, or did you just think, I think I can because the idea turns us on and having sex with beautiful women on camera must be a great job to have? Or did you just think, I won't know till I do it whether I can actually do this? Because there's a lot of people think they can, and then when it comes down to it, you can't. And I think that's what makes a performer and what doesn't.
Yeah, it absolutely fired me up. So I had no idea what to expect. I didn't even look up, some behind the scene shoots, what to expect. I just went there, put it this way, blindly, and they went up there, met them, and when I saw the preparation, which was completely new, setting up the lights, the girl, preparing for the shoot, and we started discussing what we're gonna do, 3-minute shots or longer, or what position, where should we go, how should we position ourselves for the best result. I knew that point that I want this. That was exactly the aim, being different than just do it, because that's what I like doing it, the end result, and trying to get the best result out of it, and I loved it.
So have you didn't I read on Twitter that you've done 40 scenes or something to date?
Yeah, something like 40 at the moment. Some of them are.
What time period was that? So how long?
That was starting. So this shoot was last November, and then obviously I tried to establish more shoots, which took a little time.
Yeah, that's really good though. 40 shoots in like under a year. That's really good.
Yes, I think so. I'm really happy with that. I think for a new male, I'm really happy with this. And some of them obviously, most of them obviously made by myself. So booking photographers, other models. Some of them were content. Some of them were shoot for others. A few of them. So I'm happy with this, really.
Well, it's weird because obviously you've got different levels of tiers of companies and studios and producers in the UK, and obviously there's some really, really big ones as well. But it seems like the UK now is a content share nation. Like even we started to do it as a studio. We used to pay, and I mean when we started out 17 years ago next month, there was no content share, so I basically built my business up from the ground up. I had a day job and I was saving money to do shoots because there was no way of actually getting performers for your content without paying them.
Yes, exactly. And this is what I was thinking, because I didn't know about this change in the industry at all at that point. My idea was that there are producers and productions, and they book both the males, females, and get paid, and bye. But then I realized very soon that this thing is moving for pretty much self-production at the moment, and maybe this was my chance to make this many shoots.
Well, see, I mean, obviously, like I said, even as a production studio, we do in content share now because we've got girls actually coming to us because they see the level of equality of what we do on the Nerd Pervert brand. So we usually shoot it as a Nerd Pervert episode, but as a standalone, so they get a copy of it as well. So unlike a lot of people, I suppose we're lucky because we've got the trust there. They don't get the actual footage on the day because I like to be in full control over how it comes out because it's my brand. So they get it in within a month, and then all they've got to do is upload, and they can use it pretty much as soon as they get it. So to give you an example, we shot someone a year ago, and she's had the content for a year, and we've just used it on the site because we shoot that far in advance with a mixture of paid work and now content share. But I think a lot of models now, I think they are preferring the content share over the paid work, because when you think about it, as long as you've got a fan base and you've got Twitter followers, and you've got a clip site, you need to feed it with regular content to keep constant sales coming in. But you can earn off that indefinitely, where obviously, a paid shoot, you basically just get a one-off payment, and then the money goes to the company or the producer after that, indefinitely. Yes. So I think, I always thought was a sign of the times. If I start doing content share, people's going to think, fucking hell, that company's gone downhill, they must be making any money. But then my camera lady kindly suggested, no, she says, but look what they're getting for a content share out of us. And, you still stay in touch with them now and give them advice, and you might never have shot them since. So we don't just get the content off them and then say bye-bye. And he said, we're giving them so much more that we can sort of up the level of content share.
Yeah, exactly. And this is this line between being professional, amateur, or in between. This is a big confusion in my head at the moment.
Well, it doesn't really exist anymore, to be honest with you. If you're putting stuff on ManyVids, you're technically a producer. It doesn't matter on what level, and this is where the games change, where now you as a performer who makes your own stuff, you have to know about age verification and all the laws that I've seen in 17 years come in and change. You need to now know this now, so you can legally operate as a content provider as well, and that's where it's changed. The performers have to know as much as what the producers do, because you are one.
Yes, exactly. What I meant by that is I like really the scripted scenes rather than just having a start and finish, and that's where it's a bit difficult to do doing that. So I don't have the kit, I don't have the the experience yet, but I rather do a lightly scripted scene other than just we all get in a hotel room and just make porn, really. But with that, I tried my best for as you said, put things on ManyVids and other sales platforms, and even with that, I'm still questioning whether am I in the industry or not, because nearly none of the UK productions consider me working with them yet, even after I have this let's say experience. So being a new is still new. It's not happening even after a year.
Well, I don't think that's down to you, though. I literally do think that the production companies that you're probably thinking of that's not offering you work will offer you work, but they probably just don't want to pay you, because even the production studios are getting on the content share thing. It's only people like Fake Hub who do all the fake taxi and the fake agent, and then Brazzers, and that's owned by the same company anyway. Yeah. They're the only people that really pay now, and that's why girls have got to remember, some models, I don't want to say they go above the station, but they work for Brazzers and then they expect everyone to pay those rates, and it's like, but nobody in the UK is a multi-million-dollar company. You know, and they don't have to do content share because they've got disposable money. Most of us are just making a living, and we have to balance the books between output and profit. But companies like that, they don't know the meaning of the word. So I wouldn't take that as a knock on you as a performer. I would take that as long as you're getting work for a camera guy or a video editor and it's content share. I mean, for instance, like, if you've got all these ideas, you could use that as part of your content share. So if you really spend time writing a script, what would be your ideal porn scene? And if you can get someone to film it for you and give them a copy of the content, then if you do a scene for them, you can do whatever they want. And then when they do the scene for you, that's when you go, oh, I've got a script. So really for you, it's probably only about the location, and even that should be split down the middle between all the performers involved in the content share. So I think if you give it some thought, there'll be a lot of what you can actually do, more than what you think, for your own productions, if you just get clever about the location and the build-up, as you put it. I mean, there's 20 minutes build-up in a nerd pervert scene before there's any sex, because I'm all about that.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to build up at the moment. So if you have planned content shares with different models, I'm lucky. I know a few photographers already, and yeah, that's the plan going forward, really. I have my script ideas and really need to work out my acting, because this what drew me here, really. Not just it's maybe silly to say, I know I would believe it, not just the sex part, but the acting, because in my younger years I was part in drama group, or I'm not even sure the English term because that was back in my home country, but something like we made own little films on silly things. But I like that, and with this, when you're in front of the camera and you need to do the script and you need to do the acting part, that is really I like it a lot. Other than the scene, and even the scene is interesting because obviously it's enjoyable, but that was the other thing that was really different from the first shoot. Obviously, when I met Escort Girls, the point was having fun and just enjoy ourselves. But when the first shoot we did, the reason for doing that was completely different. The reason for having the shoot is to look good, other than just having fun. Obviously, if you do it right, then we're having fun and it looks good at the same time. But that excites me a lot still. That it needs to look good, other than just having fun.
Well, that's what drove us with the Nerd Pervert thing. I mean, I was toying with the idea, but I didn't really have it fully fleshed out. And I remember when we actually struck the deal with the American company who we in partners with, who actually run the site, and I just do all the production. They do all the money making and the traffic and stuff like that. I sort of pitched it to them in like a 10-minute sort of brainstorming sessions where you've obviously seen The Office, haven't you, with like Ricky Gervais and stuff like that. Well, yeah. Obviously, when that came out, that was, before he was Ricky Gervais and you didn't know who he was, you sometimes had to do a double take and you were like, is this real or is this put up? Because it was so well done. And that's the original pitch. This is before a nerd character and everything was in my head. I just said, no one's ever done porn where you think it's a real documentary and then it leads into the sex. And that was my starting point. That's basically what Nerd Pervert is. But obviously what we started to do originally was we decided to study real life documentary shows on TV to try and study the camera work, because we felt if the camera work was familiar and you really felt you were watching real people, then people won't be fast forwarding to the sex, they'll be invested in it.
That draws me here. So I like when there is a frame, there is a background, and you can imagine a story into that. That gives more than just visuals.
Well, I think it's more, to sound like a guy, it's more horny to do, because it's kind of like a role player in the bedroom. It's like, if you've got a nice little plot and this is the point where she's going to unzip my trousers, because you've gone through the whole role play thing of she's this and you're that, it gets you going more than having to just pull your trousers down and instantly have a hard on because it's time to have sex now because we've been rolling for 3 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
Obviously, so your goal is to obviously work for more companies, whether that's content share or hopefully paid. But do you see yourself specialising in something at this point as a male performer? So for instance, like, someone like Danny D gets the acting roles in Brazzers just because he's got an acting background, he's quite theatrical and he's quite good at it. So is there anything that the performer David Hughes, do you think that's your selling point as a male performer? Because if you know what that is, and you might know at this early stage, and if you don't, there's nothing wrong with that, you're still developing your style, but sometimes already now you might have a few tick boxes where you go, well, that's where I do it different, that's where I do it different, and that's where I do it different, and that can be your pitch to companies to say, this is what I can give you above everybody else. Because it's not being big-headed by saying that. You've got to sell yourself, and you've got to know what your strengths are, and all you're doing is pointing out your strong points.
Yes, the acting is definitely something I want to improve, and I like to do. And I spend quite a lot of time practicing my lines, and when I'm doing this script, imagine and sometimes record myself, and obviously it's far from good, what I think it's should be the standard. But yeah, this is something I'm really interested in. But on the other hand, so I'm average in every way. So I don't have a body of a Greek god. So it's like I'm not 20 anymore. So the things are really limited. But if so, how can I imagine myself in a few more years? This is really, if I can step up with the acting bit, similar. Well, it's a bit silly because it's like copying those type of scenes like Danny does for Brothers and all those, but I like them so much, and I did similar things without sex in my early years. So I would love to do that going forward in porn as well.
But that's just having the inspiration. I mean, one thing that always makes me laugh is that everybody who comes along thinks that they're changing porn, you know, the reinventing the wheel, and I don't think that's possible. You know, so like even like Fake Taxi, I think that site is amazing. What an idea. It's so simple. Me and you should have thought of it, but we didn't. The point was they did first, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's even using GoPros. They're not even into using the latest Red Dragon cameras or anything like that because it wouldn't work. It can't be polished. It has to look like CCTV footage. And it's the same with us, you know, our shots are very, very zoomy because that's what a real camera crew filming real life would do. They don't know who's going to talk next in the room, so they have to constantly be on the toes, and for that reason we sort of cheat a little bit with the acting. We have an outline and we let the models say what we roughly want them to say, but we like them to put it into their own words, because I always feel like if you script it too heavily, you can't ask brand new girls or even porn stars who might not have much acting experience in porn to be able to deliver what I want. So I give them a bit more flexibility, but you tend to get their personality comes through better, and they tend to make what I've got written down in terms of an outline better. So we sort of, we do script it, but we don't give them a specific sentence where you say, oh no, say that again, you didn't say exactly what I wanted. Now obviously, you know, you can't please everybody. Like, we've made a success out of a Nerd Pervert brand, but there must be some people who fucking hate that type of stuff, and 20 minutes in, they're probably thinking, where's the tits? You know what I mean? And if people are saying that, well fine, you just don't get our stuff.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, because I don't think we can reinvent too much things at this point.
I mean, what I tried to do was, the Americans said that they could market the idea when I sort of pitched it to them, and they said, look, you know, at the time, reality shows on TV were big in America, and it's a US company that runs the site and operates the site, and he said, this is what we're going to tap into. We're going to try and get non-porn fans over to this. Would you class yourself as someone who probably would just, you know, outside of working for other people, just live on the clip stores? Because a lot of things that I tell people now is that without a very, very good idea, you probably wouldn't have enough to have a successful site. I mean, I think I'm lucky because technically I'm out of the UK, even though I shoot it in the UK, in the northeast of England, in case you haven't recognised my accent. But it's handled by an American company. It's effectively an American site with British content on it, and I'm not a webmaster. I don't know the second thing about, you know, how to get people to buy my stuff other than put a few tweets on there in character on Twitter. So I would be nothing without a partnership with a established web design company and a cash program that's got 20 years experience in the business. It's alright having a good product, but if nobody knows it's there to buy, then obviously you're not going to be successful. So do you see yourself doing the clips side thing for your own stuff? Because I think if I didn't have what I had behind us, I think that's the way I would go. Nerd Pervert would be a many vids only series, because it's just too hard to make money based on an official website now because of all the piracy that's out there.
Yeah, exactly. I try to build up this clip store thing, ManyVids and some others. Obviously, it's very low income at the moment, so it's hardly going. But very good feedback from here and there, and that keeps me going. And I think if I'm able to sustain this, having shoots every other week, every 2-3 a month, and keep continuously update ManyVids and all the other sites with new stuff, that might start to kick in, and we'll see if ideally I can improve myself as well, and maybe I can something what my character will turn out. I'm not 100% sure if I wanna be a certain character or just play all different role plays, which is already out there. We just recreate them. We'll see. I think this for males, I think the clip story is less effective than for girls, but we'll see in the long run.
Well, that's what I found quite funny, was the fact that obviously we won Best Website at the UCAP Awards, but
Yeah.
we were also up for Best Male Performer, which I thought was fucking hilarious because it was my nerd character. Now, I'm never going to win that, ever. But the point was, I just found it hilarious that someone had nominated a sleazy con artist porn character as the Best Male Performer. I mean, it falls down flat anyway, just because I only appear in Nerd Pervert. I don't perform for anybody else. So you fall flat straight on the variety of work, and I haven't got it, and I never will. But I just found it quite funny how I've chose that path of playing a character I'm so comfortable playing. I have to warn the brand new girls that as soon as the wig and glasses come on, I turn into an absolute pervert, because I never want them to feel spooked or like thinking, oh fuck, he's getting his ear under false pretenses, this is what the guys really like. Now obviously I don't go nowhere near them until the camera's on, but you know, it's out of respect and stuff, and you always have to respect people's boundaries. But the point is, when I'm getting into character, I really go for it. You know, I've turned up at award shows and characters and been like that for 7 hours, and I didn't even think that I could do that. And the models go over to you and flash the tits at you and encourage you to be a pervert because they know that's what the character's supposed to do. I wouldn't fucking dare do if I was the CEO of Dust Films. When I go on my own, I'm the biggest fucking prude ever. I mean, don't get us wrong. You know, I know a lot of people, so it's nice to catch up with people in the business. But I would never go around acting like that as me, the real me, because it's weird how a persona can sometimes give you more confidence of what you've really got in real life. It's really weird.
Exactly, and I think that's really me as well. So I'm pretty shy in nature, in general, and as I said, I'm building my courage for 2 months to send an email to that girl. But then one thing came after another, and I think I'm much more confident now. Going to a shoot, I had shoots for Television X. I was involved in Sophie's gangbang scene. I had big scene with in Budapest for Immoral Live with Dan Leal. That was a live web show, and I didn't even know about that. That's going to be a live show. So that was a 30 minutes live web show, and I loved it. So yeah, one thing after another, and hopefully I can work out my shy nature over time, and that can help me in the scenes as well, of course.
I think that's why David Hughes is your alias, and it has to be. I think that's what makes him, not you. And David Hughes can be whoever you want him to be, and I think it's very liberating to be somebody else. I think that's one of the big things about the porn industry. Obviously, part of the Nerd Pervert must be really my personality because I'm the one who's doing it. But at the same time, it's like, if that person really existed, he should be locked up. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's done in a comedic way, you know, he never forces anybody into anything, and it's not. They are quite vanilla scenes, really. He's just happy to get his end away. It's not about, you know, choking people and doing all that rough shit. No disrespect to anyone that does it. It's just not our thing. And I think that would be a hard sell anyway if a character who was a con man lying about being a porn producer and all you've got to do is fuck him to get the big jobs. I think if he was rough and he was, you know, it was a bit more on that next level, I think that would be a harder sell because then you've got too much sleaze in it, if that makes sense. So far in the business, have you had nothing but positive, you know, experiences? And the reason why I asked that is obviously I've been in the business a long time, and I've seen it change to the point of where I think the industry's in the worst state it's ever been in, mainly down to social media and Twitter and stuff like that. But nobody's got the professionalism anymore. I mean, for instance, you know, I'm going to get the violins out now, so you've got to feel sorry for us, David. But obviously, nobody likes getting let down, either on a content share or on a paid shoot. But people get let down. We really get fucked over if we get let down because we've usually spent a week planning the scene around that girl. Now, fair enough, you can sometimes hang on to a script if you get let down, and you might be able to pull it out for the next girl who comes in, but sometimes it sits on the back burner. And when you're interlinking all of your episodes one person not showing up can really fuck up the running order of the episodes that you've got planned after that with other people, even if they do turn up. So I feel like, because, I mean, we don't make it easy on ourselves, I know, but because of the detail in which we go to interlink things, where some model might be playing someone's sister from 5 episodes ago and they've never met, or somebody's mother, or whatever the theme is, that allows us to get let down more than most people, and it's worse than ever. But for someone like you, you've just come in. How have you found it? Because you don't know any different. You probably don't know that it was better than what it is now.
Yeah, exactly. I have very good experience so far. This, when you mentioned this letdown thing, obviously I've seen this as well myself.
Yeah.
I had a period where I had 5 planned shoots was cancelled in a row. That was over a 3 weeks period when I was okay. What's going on? Is it me, or it's just life? It's just what's going on. But I just accepted it as okay. This happened, and carry on. And other than this, really, yes, this is something that I think it's really hard to get around. There are valid reasons. Sometimes I'm not blaming anyone. Sometimes there are reasons which is you can't really understand. Yeah, I've seen this, but other than that, I met wonderful people, and again, so I understand accepting a new male performer and giving me the trust, even for the girls, the female performers, the producers, the cameraman to work with me. I can only appreciate everyone who ever worked with me so far.
But you say, you're serious about it. I mean, sometimes the person who doesn't turn up is the male performer or is the female performer. So for you to get let down by possibly other female performers that you were going to be working with that day, or the photographer or the company. I mean, personally, David, I haven't really had a very, very, very good excuse for a long time. I would say it's 10 years since I had a really good excuse for not turning up. One of them was a death. Of course, you're not going to fucking even question that. But I've also had people died and then they're working for somebody else the next day. And I think, how low do you have to go to even lie about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's I would say funny to say that, but obviously that is not funny at all. But that was one of the reasons out of the 5 as well. I just want to leave that behind me because it never happened since, and it will happen. So I understand. I had to cancel one shoot as well because of my I got seriously ill, and I don't even go to the depths, because if it can happen with me as well, it's just for example, so it seemed like I have a cold, but I had a really high temperature in the same time, so I don't want to risk first of all not able to perform, so the scene is going to be really crap, and it's a hard risk anyway, so I canceled the shoot. But other than this, again, yeah, it's bad if you plan a content shoot, especially if you plan the content with multiple performers, and people just started canceling, and the whole thing we need to reinvent, and the location we had to change, and so on. Yeah, it's not good, but I think it's coming. Well, hopefully it's something that I won't see too often anymore. I mean, I'm not sure, because as you said, it's moving this way, but gladly the performers I worked with so far were quite reliable. I had shoots we planned for more than a month in advance, and there was no problem at all. So I hope that will continue.
It's weird though, because it makes you skeptical. Like, for instance, like if I hired you and you said you had a cold, most people would either send an email or a DM. So that sounds like an excuse. So if you use your initiative and rang us up and I was like, bloody hell, David, you sound really bad, mate. Don't worry about it. We can reschedule. I think I would value that more. You know, like for instance, a girl said once that she'd fell down the stairs and broke a leg. But it's always the morning of the shoot that they decide to tell you this. And it's like, well, did you break your leg 3 days ago? It's like, for fuck's sake. So even if that's the truth, that's still unreliable to not tell you as soon as it's happened. I'm not saying Paul Taylor should be the first thing on your mind when your bone's sticking the other way when you're at the bottom of the stairs. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that there's a level of professionalism that you should always adhere to. Now, one girl said she'd done that, and she said, do you want us to show you me pot? Because I'm not lying, Paul. Now, obviously, the nice person in you goes, I really want, no, don't worry about it. You know, if you broke your leg, you broke your leg. But there's the other part who goes, yes, I want to fucking see this picture. Because I know people lie about it. But then you get the odd person who will just send you it and say, I'm not coming today because, and you're like, whoa, no problem, darling. I hope you get well soon. Don't rush back to work. You know, just when you're ready, get back in touch and we'll reschedule. So I always feel like an email or a tweet could be a shit excuse. So as a performer, you should try and show proof of that. I know that's a horrible, skeptical way of looking at it, but I think someone like me and other people would appreciate it more if they could tell you had a sore throat, or they could tell that you've injured yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's if you look at this way, it's like any other job. You really, if you're not your own boss, then you really need to prove that why you're absent. So it coming down to this, if you treat this as a real job, and I think it is a real job. So yeah.
I don't think people do treat it like a real job. I think that's the problem, though. It's like there is no consequences for letting people down other than starting a Twitter argument, and for every one person that someone's let down, they've got people who can vouch for them because people are that inconsistent. I mean, over the years, I've had some of the biggest names cancel on me, and it's not even worth fucking mentioning on Twitter because I know for a fact loads of people will come to her rescue, and I know that she generally has shown up for these people.
Yeah.
So it gets you nowhere. So that's the difference between a real job and porn. Yes, it's a real job, but if you don't turn up for your real job after so many times they sack you, that doesn't happen in the business because it doesn't work like that, because you're not always going to the same location. You're working with multiple people, and you might not know the last person who this person let down, so therefore you don't know not to bother booking this person, and it's a bit of a minefield, really.
Yeah, that's true.
I've noticed that you've been editing a little bit on obviously Twitter. You've done some screen captions. So
Yeah.
obviously, how are you finding DaVinci Resolve? And I mean, obviously, I use Adobe Premiere, but it's sheer laziness. I mean, I can do anything I can imagine in my head in Adobe Premiere, and I have heard that DaVinci Resolve is actually more optimized for the PC than what Premiere is. And at the minute, even though I'm paying a subscription every month, it is quite buggy at the minute, Adobe Premiere, and I have always wanted to go, DaVinci Resolve does seem good, and I'm hearing good things about it. However, it's always at the back of my head that it was originally a colour grading piece of software, and it's evolved into video editing and sound production as well, so it's come a long way. But when you're just stuck in your rut, like I work, 7 in the morning until 5, 6 at night, editing Nerd Pervert all the time, and at any one stage I'm editing an episode, I'm rendering an episode on another machine, I'm writing a script for a future episode or whatever, or I'm booking a shoot for a week's time or whatever. So there's different stages of it and different stages of production at any one time. So I'm in my own creative bubble, like Monday to Friday, and it's just a fear of the unknown, like how long will it take me to take to another piece of software when I can just use Adobe Premiere, but yet DaVinci Resolve's free, isn't it? I mean, obviously there's certain features turned off in it.
Yes, exactly.
But I mean, some people don't even hit the features that were missed off. They don't go to do something and go, oh shit, I'm going to have to pay 300 quid now. So a lot of people are really making do with the free version, and they're doing some really good stuff with it as well.
Yeah, well, the free stuff is quite good on its own. The Premiere features are really good though. So those are really all those things that you would need probably to make the footage really, really good. But I'm completely rookie, so I'm a beginner for editing, and for me, even the free version is way much more than I can handle at the moment. But it's quite easy to start with. I mean, I have footage from 2 angles, for example, and it's easy to combine them. You know, have a proper streamed video, which is really good for beginners. I think who are afraid of editing, it's a bit too much. It looks a bit too professional, but it's really easy to learn. I think lots of tutorials and guides out there from different versions as well for Resolve, and I learned in a month to make a full scene with some captions, with some title, which is not perfect, and it's never be, because I'm not a professional in video editing. But I think it's good enough to for a self-production like me, putting it on ManyVids or creating OnlyFans later, and all this. I think it's really good as a free stuff. Now the good features, the sharpening and all those things that makes the quality really look good, and all the features, effects, which might not be available in the free. I won't be able to use them yet, so I don't know how to use them properly, and I'm really struggling with the sound part, which is something I really hard for me to learn how to do that properly. But yeah, maybe that's coming.
I mean, we were all new at one point, and I didn't get to the standard I was at without really self-teaching myself. I mean, I did do video editing at university, so I suppose once you do know, I think it's more than just using software, it's knowing how to shoot, to edit on the day, to make your editing faster and smoother, which only comes with experience of being a filmmaker.
Oh yeah.
But I think I'm also an absolute massive film nut, so like if I go to the cinema to see something I really like it, I'll go multiple times if it's really struck a chord with us. And I usually go the first time to take in the movie as an audience member, just like anybody else, and then every other subsequent time I go, it's to take in as a filmmaker. And I've become obsessed with techniques and camera styles and pacing and color grading that I apply that to my work, and I think that's what makes me on another level. If I wasn't such a film nerd, I don't think my work would have that edge, if that makes sense. And you sort of understand that porn needs to be more than just porn now, so you're certainly on the right path. So I would try and take in as much mainstream media as you can, and just do what I did, just try and go, how the fuck did they do that, and find out, and then replicate it just by fucking about with a camera on a tripod, because nothing can beat experience, and most of the experience comes from stuff that nobody ever sees, because it's trial and error. And I would say, if you're already using DaVinci Resolve, I mean, one thing you've got to remember about your sound is it's not just the software settings for your sound, it's the fact that if you don't have a good recording to begin with, you'll struggle to edit it, because you can take noise out and background noise and you can really clean the audio up. But if you've got like shotgun microphones like what we use, there's less editing to do in the sound, because you've got a good sound and film to begin with.
Yeah, and I just start to understand now that I'm starting to editing and using some zooming and all the interesting bit lately, that it needs a really good kit, as you said. It really needs a good source of footage to have a quality editing. So yeah, but that's coming maybe later, because that needs an investment and all the things with that.
Well, 17 years in, I'm still upgrading my equipment. I don't think you ever stop. You never stop learning.
No.
You never stop wanting to better your technique. You never stop wanting to upgrade your content in terms of the equipment, so that it does become better content. But I got pulled back a couple of years ago by the Americans, who said I was getting too polished, and they just said, look, you know, we're not telling you what to do, Paul. You're in charge of your side of things, but can we just suggest that you watch season 1 and 2 and get back to us, because we think you've sort of lost your way a little bit. And then when I went back and watched it, it's primitive now compared to the equipment we use now, but I did get what they were meaning. It was like sort of, it was a little bit more raw and a little bit more realistic because of the rawness. And then I started using cameras with decent lenses, so you get the blurry background, and it all became all cinematic. And I thought, yeah, if this is supposed to be a guy who's picked the camera up and is just showing off his sexual conquest, so he thinks he's that interesting that he can film himself for 20 minutes and people won't be fucking bored of him because he's like an egomaniac. And why would he have, you know, work that looks like a camera crew did it? And so we've pulled it back. I wouldn't say we've downgraded our cameras, but, you know, we're still shooting 4K and everything, but we just haven't gone for the full mirrorless sensors because it's not needed, because that's what gives you the cinematic look, and it shouldn't be looking cinematic because it's meant to be a guy who doesn't know about video editing and doesn't know about camera work, and it's purposely shot that way to add to the realness of it. So we've sort of pulled back a little bit, but you don't realise that you are getting better until you look back over your old stuff. Like, I thought it was exactly the same as the day we started out, and someone else outside of my creative bubble had to point it out for us to realise, which was strange.
Yeah, and I still don't. I don't want to remove my old stuff, which is some of them were shot with phones, and the quality is different. You know, it was just like in a shady room. It wasn't proper lighting, but I'm not going to remove it because that maybe shows a little progress as well.
I always encourage models all the time to come and work for us, work with other people who can do you decent content, but then also do the phone self shots of you in the bath playing with yourself, because fans like that as well. Fans do like to make it look like, if they're a fan of the performer, that they've got variety on the clip side. So they have got polished stuff, and they have got amateur stuff, and they have got self shot stuff. And yeah. I think it feels to the guys following your work, or the girls following your work, or whatever, that's come directly from your phone and you've uploaded that straight away. And I think that's where performers can get away with doing a lot low budget stuff, because that gives it a pure look to it that a production studio wouldn't bother doing on that level. Do you know what I mean? And I think girls are making a killing on Snapchat videos and stuff like that, and it's all just them just getting the phone out when they're bored and making a clip just to update their clip sites, but it sells for them sometimes more than the stuff that we do.
Yeah, more personal, exactly.
Yeah. So I think, you know, I mean, I do admire when the performers started becoming producers themselves and making their own clips. I sort of admired that because, you know, they went from being busy 7 days a week and getting £300 a day or something to getting less work, but had a certain lifestyle in terms of maybe a house and a car and a mortgage, that it was harder and harder to sustain because the income just didn't last. The bottom fell out of the business because of the piracy and the tube sites and the torrent sites and stuff. And I mean, for example, we can release a new episode of Nerd Pervert on a Friday, and I always Google it on a Saturday and it's already there for nothing. I mean, how do you compete with that? The fact that we still making money out of it still amazes me, because, you know, I'm from a small village in the northeast of England, and we all brought up by our parents to believe that we know better than anyone else, and no one's better than us, and it keeps you humble. It doesn't matter about the level of your success, so it always keeps you down to earth. And I never understand when people let that go to their heads. So, for example, the UCAP Awards, you know, the stories I've heard from models getting bitchy because they felt like they should have won, or their friends should have won, and I was just thinking, oh my god, how can anyone think that much of the self that they'll deny someone who's rightfully won an award their moment of glory and celebration because they sour about them not winning? I don't know where that comes from.
Difficult to comment on that because I'm not quite agree with that either. But I'm not here to judge them either.
No, but you know, you can understand what I mean, though. It's like,
yeah, absolutely.
I think I'm the only person who hasn't made a big deal about winning an award. Everybody else is still fucking on about it, and you know, it does mean a lot when someone gives you an award, but I felt like we should have won it a long time ago, so it sort of doesn't mean anything now because we already established and doing well. But on our way up, when people were starting to really notice what we were about, that's when we should have won. I never denied anybody at the time who won over us, because again, it's not important. Would I rather have a business that's doing well, or would I rather have a piece of glass and not make any money? So I don't understand where this like I'm an award winner ego thing comes from. It's just foreign to me.
I loved the UCAP Awards on my own space, because as I said, as you know, I'm new, and I met a few people there, performers especially, who I only liked their comments or send a few Twitter message every here and now, male, female as well. And they came to me. We met like we've known each other for years, and they said, "Oh, you're doing good. It's great. How you doing?" That felt much more than any awards I could get.
Yeah.
Which was really good.
I mean, one thing that I do regret about Nerd Pervert, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a closed off brand, but the problem is we've got like me as the main character, and then we've introduced another 2 nerd characters. Now the beauty of that is, they live close by. I didn't know them beforehand, and they were cast as 2 friends who have always been mentioned, but I never had them sort of cast to bring them in, and so the world's opened up and it's bigger now. And I do like to help people get the first start, and we shoot a lot of girls' first time scenes and stuff, and I would equally like to do that for the males as well, so it sounds sexist that I don't, but I have to have a really good idea to bring in a random guy who's never been seen in a continuing story, because the way we do it, it's not a one-off storyline where I could do that all the time if that was the case. So for instance, like, I have brought the odd male in before, particularly like say if a model will do a threesome scene but she has to work with a partner. Now, I always think that's limited for a company, where every time you appear with the same guy, no company's going to have anything new to offer starring that girl, but each to their own. We all have our own levels, and that's fine. So sometimes you want the girl more than what you really would, so you go, right, okay, the only way I'm going to get it is to get her guy in with her, and we'll both perform with her. Right, okay, shit, who's he going to be? And then, so the guy, poor bastard, ends up working harder than the girl, because we do the sex scene as if he's already established in the story, and then we basically put the model to one side and we go to the guy, right, cameo time. We're going to shoot 2 hours worth of footage of you just acting in certain parts, and we're going to stick you in episodes well before the sex scene's ever going to come into it, so that when you are shagging her, people aren't just going to say, the fuck's that, he's already established, he's already been written as a character, he's already in it well before the sex scene airs, and that's the way we do it. It's a lot of work, and it's something I don't need to do, so someone really has to stand out or have a look or something about them where I go, I don't know why, but I want this guy in the scene, so we're going to have to work out how we can do it. So I always feel like that's the worst part of what we do, that we seem to help girls and not guys, but obviously you've got to think of the way your brand works, and you can't let your helpfulness outweigh your business that's already established and not go against what sells, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's even more difficult as time goes on if you keep rolling with the story.
Yeah, exactly. So, like say for instance, if we got you in, we would have to explain who you were, and you would end up doing loads of acting parts, which you'd probably enjoy from talking to you, to sort of be shot after the sex scene, but what we are going to show prior to that episode going live, so people just don't think you're a stranger and you've just popped up randomly,
Yeah.
So there's a lot to think about sometimes, and sometimes I feel like, I wish I could help men and women performers equally, but I can't, because ultimately the porn is always about the girl. It doesn't matter how good the stud is. It is, isn't it? It's like, well, unless you're watching, if you're a gay performer, then it's about the guys, but 9 times out of 10, straight porn is about the girl, even though the guy has a lot to do with making her look good. But it is strange how, you haven't got a porn scene without a girl, have you?
Yeah, exactly. It's always about the girls.
So for anybody who might want to look you up or get in contact with you for work, or book you for a content share or book you for paid work or whatever, have you got any links that you can tell us about where people can find you? Obviously, I'm flashing them up on the screen as well, but it's always nice to hear in case we haven't covered it.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I might have missed off where people might be able to contact you?
So my main contact is on Twitter, where there is a link for my ManyBit site, which is the other thing where someone can look up my previous work. And also have an adult work site, adult work profile with some different content as well. But the main is really Twitter. Also I have a profile in Adult Folio. And I think that's it. These are the main ones.
Right, so David, that was a really, really good, interesting chat, and it's always nice to get somebody when they new. So hopefully you might come back again, you know, in the future to see where you are and what's changed in your career and stuff. And we'll catch up again sometime if you'd like to do another interview sometime.
All right, brilliant. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you for talking, and good luck for the future.
All right, thanks a lot.
Baby, let's go.
Can I just say that this is like a dream come true for me, right? Because I used to watch her videos when I was younger.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because you have been around a long time in the UK.
Yeah.
So anybody watching, she is a proper porn star, this girl. She's just doing this for the sake of work overseas, which is a bit ridiculous, to be fair. Because you are like an established porn star, aren't you? Honestly. Jesus Christ, I'm touching Vicky Powell's tits. And there you go. Fucking, he's got some good ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? See, that's the thing in the age of content share, you've got a chance to put them into practice.
Yeah.
Even as a performer. Like, he doesn't know, I mean, he is a performer, but he sounds like he wants to give it to producers as well.
Yeah, exactly, like a one-stop shop.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, he's already having a go at editing in DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't have to start off on that, because that's fucking complicated. I mean, that's a pro edit of that.
Well, I mean, you keep telling me to, you know, learn Premiere, saying, and I will at some point.
But everyone will tell you
When
something
you've got
different.
time.
Exactly.
But everyone will tell you something different, though. Everyone will tell you that their main choice of editor that they use.
Yeah, it's,
you know,
there's plenty out there, isn't there?
Like Dick from Dick Salacious, he likes DaVinci Resolve, but I'm like, well, I've run my business for 16 years on Adobe Premiere.
Yeah.
I would have to have about 3 months off to fucking
learn it properly before you can
and even then I can't open up all projects in DaVinci Resolve, so I would still have to keep Premiere just to do that. And if you totally move over to another one, you'll forget the menu systems of the other one. So it's just easier to stick with something.
I'll tell you what, you're going to be sick of this, but I'm considering getting the new iPad that's going to come out, and I might do some editing in iMovie.
Oh no! Fucking hell, I think this might be the last fucking podcast you do, lad. So I tell you what though, there's no evidence of that yet. It's all fucking speculation next week when they do the fucking keynote. So where's that come from? 2 in the space of a month.
Yeah, stuff always leaks, and they always do the iPads around about this time of year. Like, it's definitely, yeah.
Everyone reckons we're going to find out about the modular Mac Pro. I'll believe that when I see it.
He's definitely all pro
I'd laugh
stuff,
if you
isn't
eventually went back to Mac.
I'm fucking not.
Pissed
no, I've already gone, right, and they've lost us. And I tell you what, right, a modular Mac Pro that you can put any graphics card in you want, like that one upstairs that I've got, right, if they bring out a modern day version of that, it'll be more than a fucking deposit on a house.
Yeah, I imagine so.
And I can build a Threadripper 64 core machine. I can get a CPU from AMD for fucking 1,500 quid. So up yours, fucking Tim Cook. You fucking ruined everything Steve Jobs fucking stood for.
Oh, you've been harsh there.
He has. He's fucking...
See, I've
The thing
still
is,
got
I do
my
have to agree with
iPhone
that.
and I
No, come on, right, classic example, right? The greatest stylus in the world is that.
Your finger,
right?
and that was the Apple Pencil.
As soon as he fucking died. Do you know what I mean? He must have been fucking waiting to that. Do you know what I mean? Fucking annoying it is.
You know, like, they're not as good as they were.
No,
with the
not.
design or anything, but they still bring out some banging like
they make
ridiculously
awesome
expensive products. But
Yeah.
like when I showed you that video today that I took on my iPhone
That was
XS
that was
Max,
impressive.
fucking
Yeah.
banging that like.
Oh yeah.
But that phone is like 1,400 quid.
Yeah, I'm just not as
bloody hell.
wowed by them anymore because
Yeah,
they've
exactly.
made other technology
I could
companies
go on
do
a
better.
proper
So there's an alternative now where there wasn't
Yeah,
before. Do
true.
you know what I mean?
Alright, Android has upped its game.
I think it does because I
Like-
used to hate it. I moved from this.
To be perfectly
Apple.
honest, I'd only ever get the Note 9. like in this climate, because that one does look absolutely banging.
Well, the camera's good on it, isn't it?
Yeah,
So-
like everything's good on it.
See, I could buy shitloads of stuff with like 1,400 odd quid. I could go on a proper spending spree and everything.
You could go on a
buy
fucking
shitloads.
cruise for a week with that.
More than
Yeah,
likely,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Holiday for
All
like 2
depends what
weeks
you
or
want.
something.
I can't believe you just bought the new phone when last year's is fine. Like that does my head in that.
It wasn't big enough. I needed a bigger phone.
So
I
if
primarily watch porn on my phone, and I needed a bigger screen.
do you watch porn
Any
on your phone even though you
experience?
sell DVDs in the shop?
Yeah, why?
Why? Just put a DVD on.
I like porn. Oh, the DVDs are always playing in my shop. Like at the minute, I've got like a 32-inch TV in my shop, but I'm getting an extension in my shop, and I'm going to be having a big 55-inch
So
massive TV with porn in the back.
Gosh,
I'm telling you what, I'm going to try and get like a 4K TV.
So
and stuff.
answer us truthfully, right? Have you ever decided to pop in the back for a cheeky one, and then someone's come in?
Can it? Can it?
What's the
Can it
cameras
do
look
it?
like?
There's cameras fucking everywhere.
Well, even in the back room and that.
Yeah, even in the back room. Aye.
So you couldn't just be sat there where
Nah,
you fucking fly
I
over.
couldn't just have myself a jolly.
See,
Back
Knock
rack.
one out.
Although, as soon as the shop shuts, I could cover them cameras if I wanted and have one. But where's the fun in that?
so does that mean if we shoot a
You can't
pot?
cover the cameras.
So does that
Bloody
mean if we
hell.
shoot a nerd pervert team, that's going to be on the cameras?
Yeah. Well,
Hey! How will we getting fucking free footage then? They better not be
do
using
you know
that
what?
anyway.
I'm gonna ask if I
we
can
can have
get
it.
the footage from there. Like it doesn't have sound, but
It doesn't matter.
exactly.
We'd never use the sound from it anyway. We'd use it from
yeah,
our ear cam.
exactly.
We'd use it from the Fisher Price camera.
I know.
The Fisher Price camera.
But that's like that would be dead good. So I'm gonna try and like get access to that.
But 55-inch TV to
Yeah,
like watch
man.
Gash on. Woo!
Well, if they can afford that and afford to advertise on the UK Porn Podcast, mind they
Hey,
can afford
I'm
one then.
going to suggest it to them
You know what I
because
mean?
you see, they seem to be a little more open.
And
Because like the
we'll take
Lacey
pictures.
tour went fantastic.
We'll take pictures of,
Yeah.
like, you know, like clean one. Well, no, it doesn't have
Right.
to be clean ones. It's a fucking sex shop. We can put anything
Yeah,
in.
exactly.
Like dirty
Yeah.
ones, and we'll
Yeah.
do dirty pictures, behind the scene pictures that they can put in the shop and say, Nerd Pervert Team was filmed here last night.
Right.
There's the nerds come on the carpet still. So, you know what I mean? That might make people come in more. Mightn't it?
Maybe. Who knows?
You're-
No
you're-
pervert spoke to you.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's and do an
Well,
hour.
hey, I keep telling you to come to the shop and do like a little bit of a signing and
we
stuff,
will
man.
do. We will do.
You're gonna have to.
Scarlett.
Am I included in that?
Of course, you're included. To be perfectly honest, you'd probably be the bigger draw.
Probably fucking what she always
Everyone
is.
wants to see Scarlett.
I know. She fucking does. Will you be
Where
getting your
some
will you be getting your tits out like this?
Oh,
You did, like.
yeah, you have to. Like,
Like,
everyone comes in, gets her tits out. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not a performer though, am I?
well,
You're in the
See?
porn. You're in the porn scene.
See?
Nearly counts. Hell, she doesn't know yet, man. The porn scene star now when we get her in the fucking shop.
oh,
Just lock
nice
the door.
one.
That'll be the grand finale when she leaves.
Yeah,
To
man.
leave her a
Oh,
fucking
that'd be-
face full of fucking
That would be
jizz.
a fantastic episode. That
Fucking brilliant, wouldn't it? Fucking that would be the most watched episode, I reckon. Like,
easily.
because they want what they can't have anyway. I'm
Exactly,
sick of
I
getting
mean,
emails about it.
Yeah, you've been building all this time.
Yeah. It's been the grand planner last episode.
People are just going to explode, aren't they?
They won't get that far into it. Like, I reckon one flash of your tits of you getting on your knees and then
Yep.
and it'll be over. It'll take 10 goes to watch that scene, I reckon. Like,
Sell it in 10 parts.
Woo!
if I did that just to be a cunt,
Yeah.
people would they
Yeah,
would
they
go,
would.
fucking, there's part 2 just being released,
Aye.
and they'd still buy it.
You could release an entire series of just that one episode.
Yeah. Like, make like 24 like
Yeah.
1 minute clips or something.
Oh, you're cruel.
Right, I tell you what though, right? Not that we into ripping our fans off, but it's sex fact time, Scarlett.
Oh, wait, let's get my phone out.
Oh, tried to spring it on and look, and it didn't work. Bollocks.
Oh no, not quite.
Shit.
No, I need to actually find the sex fact that I wanted.
Oh, this is more like it.
Yeah,
She's
definitely.
fucking up.
Oh, shut up, man!
She's fucking up live.
No, it's
That's
because...
what I wanted. It's like
Oh
the old
no,
times.
it went to a different page.
People think this is a new show. If they remember us back in the day, and ever since we go all fucking 9K views on the fucking stream, she's getting all professional. So this is more like the Old
Yeah.
school. Look, she can't find it. She's fucked it up. Quality.
No, it keeps like loading in other flaming apps.
The longer you leave it, you're live, you know. And it's all
Yeah, like, this
Right,
is
I've
mad.
got it. Okay, I've got it. You can stop putting pressure on us now. Thank you. Right. Whew. Okay, my sex fact of the day. Most men chalk up fewer than 10 sexual conquests in their whole lives.
Fucking hell. Okay,
What?
that is
More-
a little bit shocking. But then again, we are porn stars.
So you will have...
No, even
if
before
you-
I was, I did all right. I did better than that.
Yeah, no, I was
Fucking
going to
hell.
say, like, I've
Yeah,
certainly
right.
done a lot better than
Actually,
before
I must
this.
admit, I'm under 10, or I think I'm at 9 or something, mine, so I'm sort of around that,
Yeah,
but that's for men.
This is the nicest thing I'll say about you, right? You're not a
then.
slut, Scarlett.
Thank you.
So like at the end of the day, like that's more common for women. Do you know what I mean? But like men, like we'll drop our standards when we're pissed and shag a fat bird and not tell our mates about it unless they catch us, and then you get
Just to
pissed
get
off.
our
I
leg over.
will. And to be perfectly honest, I'll tell you what, like, some of the fat birds I have shagged have been fucking brilliant.
Well, I'll tell you
It's-
what.
It's always a
We
really
shoot
good surprise.
BBW. We shoot
Yeah.
shoot BBW models because they're usually gorgeous anyway.
Yeah.
Right, and they sell. You know, like this
Yeah.
is the thing. It's like the internet has made that body type popular. Because it's
But that's
real
the
life,
thing,
isn't it? You know what I mean?
And it's any body type. Like, there's always going to be people out there who specifically like that. So, like, you know.
Yeah, but it was never
fat
a
people,
porn fantasy
thin
at one
people.
time, though, was it?
Yeah, I suppose.
It was always like the skinny size 8 people that I personally don't like.
yeah,
them that
skinny size 8 with big fake tits.
Yeah.
But it's changing now. It's like now, like, people like it when they've got like hairy armpits and stuff like that. It's like
I don't,
A
but you know,
natural
each to
woman.
their own and that.
yeah.
See, the thing is, right, I've been with a guy and he was skinny, and then when we were having sex, literally his hip bones kept like knocking into us, and it was so off-putting, and I didn't enjoy it, I must admit.
Right in the
So-
middle of a vinegar strokes.
So it means, what do you think of that then? Obviously, like, if a girl is really skinny, that her hip bones
Yeah.
or whatever,
It's-
or
It's the
arse,
exact same
whatever.
for men. Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
See?
get someone who's a little bit too skinny, like, it
See,
hurts.
like, no, this is weird, right? Personally, I like someone with a bit more meat on the bones, right?
Yeah.
However, the skinny porn stars, because it sells, see, like I say, we do shoot variety on Nerd
Yeah.
Pervert. The best thing is we don't pigeonhole the body type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's free reign for anyone who buys the Nerd's bullshit. He'll fuck them
Yeah,
if they fall
exactly.
for it sort of thing. So I'm pleased that we did that. Fucking dog. Right? But they're good for throwing around because they're light.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like sometimes if I get a skinny one and she's fucking riding me dick, I'll stand up while she's on us,
Aye.
and he can fucking standing up.
And that is good for us because me and you, we very much are the everyman. So
We
we've not
weeds.
got massive muscles
No,
or
nah.
anything. So
Yeah.
sometimes we do need a nice thin one to like kind of chuck around.
Which just makes you feel macho, doesn't
It does. It does a
Yeah,
bit.
right.
But in your own personal life, you would choose someone that's got a little bit more meat on the bones.
Yeah.
Someone like
why
you, Scarlett, that's why I've been trying to bone you for 7 years.
Is that why every time I bend over, your mind sort of goes blank?
Oh, that's a fucking point, innit? I used to always get shots of her ass
Right.
because I could zoom in. She's going to catch us with that because
Oh,
I'm
she's
nearly
gonna
going to be
catch you with
touching her
that
ass
one,
Be
cheek.
up close.
She'll be like, what you doing? No? Focus is going again. I'm trying to adjust the white balance.
You're gonna have to up your game, Paul, and actually start charming.
How would you do
That'll
that?
be a
I'll try and
change,
teach you.
wouldn't
Last,
it?
last, last time we did that, you took us out to introduce us to that girl, and you were
Aye.
like, right, don't think it was a sexual object, just talk to her and ask her what her name is. So I asked what her name was, and I asked her what her tit size was, and she slapped us.
Yeah.
So I got one question out
You
though.
did. You did.
So I'm getting there, I suppose.
See, the difference here is, right, Jason's saying that he's...
Jason, who the
Oh,
fuck's
sorry.
Jason? I know it's thing of Halloween and that, like, but I swear down he's not sat there with a hockey mask on and a fucking and a hockey fucking.
I'm just. I'm that memorable.
Oh, fuck's sake,
People
man.
say fucking blokes are bad for remembering
Names,
women's
I know,
names.
I know. I know it's Logan,
So
but
right,
then...
let it's
Yeah,
not Logan
James.
either. He's not fucking Wolverine either. It's James Logan.
That's what I said.
You said
I said Logan.
Yeah.
And you said his name's not Logan, and
Isn't?
you just said.
James Logan, but
Yeah, I know.
you said Logan as if that was his first name. the way you said
No,
it.
but I knew his surname. I was trying to remember his first name.
Bloody hell, honestly.
Oh, it's so funny. But as I was saying, right, he's saying that he's a charmer. But he's just like
yeah.
Paul.
I wouldn't say I'm just like Paul. I think I'm a little more subtle with the
No.
I suppose that's true.
When me and him go for a pint, right, and we eyeing somebody up, think, no, I wonder if she'll have a business card and she'll come back and suck our dicks, right? When we think like that together, right?
Yeah.
But I'll say it out loud in front of him, saying, I bet she can suck you through a hose pipe. Where he won't, he'll say, all right, darling, and he'll charm them a little bit better than me. Where I just go, can you deep throat cock and stick both testicles in your mouth at the same time? Like, I haven't got a filter, but he has. But he's still just as fuck. He's thinking the same thing as me.
I'm always thinking
What
the
I'm
same thing.
thinking,
Dirty
I say out
mind,
loud,
both
but he's
of
thinking the
yous.
same thing, but he just knows how to keep it in a bit better.
Yeah.
Bastard. I wish I knew how to do that.
Just
You know what I mean?
keep your mouth shut.
So on that
That would
note,
probably help.
with our pulling techniques, you can have them for free.
Yeah.
You might not get very
Yeah, just
far.
don't get slapped. Don't take Paul's route.
No. But I think we should say goodbye. So I want to say thanks for listening. And if you're listening to us on itsadult.com now, pre-recorded, or however you're listening, thanks for spending, the last couple of hours with us. Much appreciated.
Always a pleasure.
Please keep checking back, because there'll be more.
Oh, they will every week.
Something's give us fire in our belly, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 365 fucking shows a year we're going to do. You know what I mean?
I don't think you've done the maths right on
Yeah,
that
no,
one, like.
Well, that shows you how dedicated we are. We're sitting a few extra here. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I just want to say goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
1, 2, 3. Fuckity bye.
Yeah, Scarlett won't do it.
No, I didn't do it that time.
Never fucking does it.
I didn't do it last time either.
This programme was brought to you by itsadult.com, the official adult business directory for fans, producers, services, webcam, phone chat and more.